Previously on Seattle by Night. The night of the gathered Elysium is set to continue, and finds our coteries separated. Alvin is outside, having seen a dominated Jess off to safety by way of Kyle, and is tucking a photo into his pocket. Inside, the trio of Ashley, Olivia, and Pius have just watched the Giovanni enter. Ashley is feeling confused, as is Olivia, but only Ashley is giving Lucio a death glare. Pius is picking up some weird vibes, but nothing concrete. Olivia inquires as to whether they should go after Alvin and Jess, and Ashley lets Olivia in on the fact that Jess appeared to have been dominated. The suggestion is made to follow Alvin before attention is drawn to them, but it's already a little too late for that. More than a few caught Jess's entrance, and while they clearly assume she's a new ghoul, her presence was registered. Olivia also tries to correct Ashley's angry face, laying down the law that if she can't put socks on the prince's foot, Ashley can't give people angry face. In any event, the trio begins moving towards the door head to Alvin. Back with Alvin, lurking just inside the glass doors of the building is Mark. His stare is, honestly, more than a little intense. As Alvin returns, he is quick to ask just what in the hell is that look for? Mark responds with a question of his own about what just happened. Thus begins a conversation about people wanting to piss Alvin off, or just being a novice, or both. Mark reminds Alvin that in this society, novice can be a very relative term. Our conversation turns to Alvin's connection to Jess, the Daily Bagel, and Mark confessing a personal stake in matters now. In Alvin's questioning, Mark admits to being somewhat possessive when it comes to things like this. Matters of blood. Mark confesses that a quirk of his blood, in the same fashion of some vampires retaining their ability to enjoy food, is being able to smell blood, or at least blood ties, familial connections, as long as they lead to himself. Eventually, their conversation comes to a halt as Mark notices the approaching trio and makes his farewell, leaving the coterie to regroup. As they meet back up, Olivia checks for eavesdroppers and fails to find any, though does note overhearing Kindred back in the ballroom mentioning Jess and wondering if she's a new servant. After some discussion of making Jess a ghoul, Olivia tries and attempts to gain information from the photo with the discipline of Auspex, and succeeds quite a lot, thanks to Alvin's guiding words. The information gained does confirm what Alvin solidly suspected, but allows the Ventru to assuredly take aim at his primogen for any retaliation going forward. Having a pointer directed at rage nearly causes Alvin to lose control, but his iron will and calm nature allow him to rein in his beast before anything more than a wall is damaged. Pius takes advantage of Alvin's anger being focused elsewhere to admit to sneaking into the bagel to watch movies, and gets off with only a tightly squeezed shoulder. After the coterie returns to the ballroom, Alvin is soon approached by Rocco, briefly talking about the Sabat raid, prior experiences back east, and not getting to enjoy pizza after finally making it to New York City. Alvin proceeds to introduce him to the rest of the coterie, mainly Ashley and Pius, the two he hasn't met yet. Things are tense, primarily with Ashley, and not too long after, Rocco asks to speak with Alvin in private. Ashley tells the dead mother not to worry, that she'll babysit, calling them by their title, and prompting a moment of realization from Rocco as he realizes Alvin's instinct to look after others, occasionally by way of tough love, is still alive and well, even among the unliving. Sadly, however, Ashley's promise to babysit would end up being not quite accurate, as she would just the one that quite needed someone to look after her. But they eventually do. In the private conversation that follows, Rocco confesses some concern about Olivia, and to a lesser degree, Ashley. Olivia's sire, her very recognizable old-fashioned pink convertible, was seen lurking outside the Giovanni Manor a few weeks ago, and that his own sire has been growing somewhat paranoid. He also lets Alvin know that one rather powerful wraith has been keeping the entire wraithly population of the Giovanni under siege for weeks. and that whoever is controlling it would have to be very particularly powerful or gifted in the necromantic arts. And as far as the Giovanni are aware, they are the only practitioners in the city, which means there is a hidden necromancer at work somewhere. Beyond that, the old friends turn their conversation towards odd kindred trivia,
Perfect.
and are wondering how many mortal works, be it poems, stories, or movies, are rooted in more than just fiction. Alvin then enlightens Rocco as to some of the situation with Allison, and after making sure no one is listening, Rocco offers to help bury any bodies or offer solid alibis if needed. Meanwhile, out with the other three, a hand falls on Ashley's shoulder, first tightly, then easing up. Behind her is the unblinking stare of Lucio, whose eyes are quick to sweep over you. The stare is dismissive, chilling, cutting, and demeaning all in one, and more things besides. They exchange words, Ashley's own venomous. Lucio makes allusions about Ashley's parents, especially her mother, and getting their noses into matters they shouldn't have. Ashley's glare is defiant, but something inside, some part of that will, begins to break down as Lucio's hand moves from her shoulders to cup her cheek, and not gently either. His grip is firm enough to force Ashley to meet his eyes whether she wants to or not. Ashley gets angrier, but more brittle on the inside, too. Meanwhile, Pius stands back, wanting to intervene, but remembering he's not supposed to be doing things like laying a haymaker into the sky, no matter how much he might want to. Or he would be doing that right now, there's that very moment, probably. Olivia tries to physically put herself between Ashley and Lucia, but supernatural strength is not something she is equipped to fight against this time. Lucio comments on Ashley's appearances and taking after her mother, as if the other two aren't there at all, and how certain talents can be wasted. He leans in, well into Ashley's personal space, and whispers, heard only by Ashley and Olivia, and inquires as to whether or not where she thinks that little ability of hers came from. With that final comment, and a creeping, disgusting caress of her hair, Lucio walks away, leaving Ashley both simmering in rage and to some degree already falling apart. With only a word to Olivia, Ashley leaves for a moment to be by herself, during which she begins to text her sire, Dr. Thorne. Meanwhile, Pius is impacted by the speeding missile that is his sister, his very excited sister Belle, who is very less than amused by his absence from the Warrens lately. Also, in why she's the last to find out about his special place, or to be given a bangle, among other things. Pius says he hasn't been speaking to Mom either, and Belle lets him know Cassandra's been pissed for over a week. Belle promptly drags Pius over to family, his sire Cassandra first and foremost, frowns immediately at Pius's arrival. His sire wastes no time whatsoever in lambasting Pius for his lack of care, concern, or messages, making her displeasure more than well known. And for the first time in 15 years, Pius is left feeling like a child again. Pius cannot seem to make any sort of headway or comment that doesn't come around and immediately bite him in the ass. Cassandra masterfully, or perhaps motherly, twists his words against him every time. His sire even threatens to talk with his teacher about suspending further lessons until Pius spends more time with his family. Especially after he let slip a bit about being able to summon zombies now, right there in the Elysium. No telling who overheard him properly there, I'm sure. Should probably do it too. Pius is left promising to show up at the Warrens again tonight, and even that is a very thin shield indeed from his mother's agitation. Someone that's bounced around the mortal foster care system for most of his pre-adult life, it's incredibly weird, more so than any words could convey, how oddly pleasant it likely feels to have someone this genuinely concerned about his well-being, even if they're also very, very angry with him. Donovan, who has been standing nearby the entire time, pats Pius on the back, encourages him to listen to his ma, and definitely not get him pulled into this before the Primogen leaves, having suddenly remembered something important of some sort of business he has with the prince, and takes that leave in a completely 100% not at all sus departure. Sure, of course. While Ashley falls apart and exchanges texts with Dr. Thorne and Pius is being disciplined, sorta, Olivia heads off to speak with the prince. She waits, and is eventually invited forward to speak, after only a short moment. Olivia invites him to partake in a Malkavian parlor game of absurdity and foot fortune telling, or shoe fortune telling. one of the two, or both. After a bizarre interaction where Olivia attempts to provide such a fortune telling, she is given permission to take the foot statue paperweight, prompting the Malkavian to proudly skip and prance away into the wider court with a football-sized foot statue. Alvin returns, and the first one he sees is Olivia, still prancing and skipping with the foot statue. He moves over and makes sure his good child didn't become a bad one by stealing from the prince. Unfortunately, he should have already realized that she is a bad child, just not as bad as the rest. Goodness.
Hey,
Upon learning what happened, he congratulates the girl, once more cementing the pink convertible driving stakeout girl.
she's sweet.
ah, to learning about what happened. The conversation sours as it turns to Olivia sharing Lucio's interaction with Ashley. Naturally concerned, the dead mother takes the initiative to go make sure his arts and crafts child is all right. Short of it, no, she's not. Ashley looks up and immediately flinches before she can settle down and realize who it is. She seems to be hyperventilating, which, given that she doesn't need to breathe, is probably a habitual reaction rather than a physical one. A short, tense conversation later, Alvin makes the call to pull the coterie back to the bagel, after making sure everyone's done on any business they have, and after checking with Pius, and of course extracting him from family interrogation. The other three are sent to wait out at the car, safely removed from kindred business. While they are leaving, Alvin turns his own attention to Pius's Nosferatu family. He speaks of his plans for the bagel and his hopes for working on developing ties in that regard. Also, maybe wanting to know things about Adam Longwell. Donovan shares that there are certainly things he knows and can share, provided agreements can be reached. However, he quickly switches the conversational topics, cueing Alvin into someone approaching. And as Alvin makes it the part, that approaching person is Primogen Longwell himself, who cuts him off. In the short conversation that follows, the Primogen offers a lesson and makes some not so veiled threats. As he does so, however, a wave of silence sweeps over the room, a sound of firm, sure footsteps, and the rhythmic tapping of a cane as the unwinded conversation is halted by the arrival of one Leon Maxwell. He says he needs to speak with someone of import, and immediately cuts off the Primogen when Longwell assumes Leon means him. He does so in a manner of blatant disrespect. Public disrespect at that. The sort of thing marking the start of a centuries-long feud for many in the webs of the Jihad. And then promptly rubs Lugwell's nose further into it by requesting a moment of Alvin's time for a private conversation. And none of this interaction goes unnoticed. Once in private, speaks of having gone through Alvin's notes, numbers, and other things, and most firmly compliments Alvin in a well-done job. They speak on potential in the clan, and the lack thereof. Maxwell, after briefly speaking on it with Alvin, hands him a folder and some keys to go with it. The deed to a penthouse suite in an apartment tower not far removed from the bagel, with paperwork connecting it to a fresh false identity with Alvin's face, but not his name or other information. A place of his own, and for the moment, one without his sire's knowledge. Whether or not it stays that way, of course, depends on things going forward. Of course, eventually, Alvin must return to the others of the coterie, lest they start burning down something. Like his car, for instance, where he left them. Fortunately, it's still there and not burned. Pius opens the door for him, while Ashley white knuckles in the back seat. After some offers of heading elsewhere in the city for Ashley's benefit, they ultimately return to the bagel. While the arts and crafts girl tries to keep herself together in the corner of the booth, Olivia and Pius share an interaction over the foot, and Alvin shares what happened involving Longwell and Maxwell after the rest of the coterie had left. And then promptly begins the Den Mother Inquisition by demanding to know why they went to stake out the Giovanni Manor in Lyra's bright pink old-fashioned convertible. One of a kind in the city of Seattle, and every kindred older than a week probably knows who it belongs to. A very much, this was dumb, you were dumb for doing it, or at least dumb for doing it like this, rant follows. And as things swing to talking about Rocco, and Ashley stresses the buddy of Alvin's will need him in his corner in the time to come, Olivia asks for a clarification. But before she can get one, a knock at the door interrupts her. Outside, under a black umbrella, is Dr. Thorne. Once let in, he barely has time to ask Ashley if she is all right before his child runs full speed into him and buries her face into his chest. With some calm words to his child, Dr. Thorne means to direct her to the car, but not before Alvin slips in some closing words, both iterating he has her back, but also that Rocco is his friend who doesn't want to see him come to harm because of whatever feud is going on. Afterward, with an incredible amount of care and concern, Dr. Thorne directs Ashley to the car. As he holds the umbrella over her, even when it means a part of his own shoulder is getting wet. Even with Ashley gone, the den mother inquisition about things and activities continues, while Pius spectates from the corner before getting dragged in. Ultimately, the inquisition is derailed by the den mother's worries for his sister. Olivia offers to put her supreme voyeurism skills to use to check in on her, but only if he can watch her body while she's gone. A voyeur appreciating other voyeurs, apparently. Allison's dorm looks fairly typical. Allison herself is passed out drunk on her bed, her roommate listening to music via headphones to cover the sound of Allison's drunken snores. There's also a jewelry box peeking out of a bag from a store that probably seems well beyond Allison's financial means at the moment. But a moment later, she's back in the basement of the Daily Bagel, looking up into four sets of eyes looking down at her. One Nosferatu, one Ventru, one rat, and one bat. After conveying what she has seen, however, the trio, not counting the rodents, begin to split up. Pius for home, Olivia for home but for potential spankings, and Alvin remains. Has quite a few messages to send tonight, and maybe some calls to make as well. No, you are never living that down. Alvin isn't living down Den Mother, you're not living down being a voyeur. That's how that works. And Ashley's probably never living down being the arts and crafts girl or the creepy ex.
Probably not.
We just need a thing for Pius to never live down, then the set will be complete.
We need to find something.
He's an animal hoarder.
Y'all don't know to what extent just yet. Wait till
No.
he starts showing up with dozens of rodents.
He's the rat king.
There you go.
We need to make some tiny rat-sized instruments and teach the niblets how to play. Is David muted or just quiet?
I think he's being quiet.
Darn. Oh well. Enjoy a sip of my drink because that was long. Sorry, I tried not to let him get that long, but last session was long. Normally, this is the part where I jump right to the next night's awakenings. However, I believe we still had a little bit of unfinished business from each of you, and it would be a shame to miss out on it.
Good luck, Ashley.
So, we'll begin with the rare and first time ever appearance of a little segment I call flashbacks. But we're going to flash back to a little bit of something the night prior for each of you. For some of you, this will be simple. For some of you, this is going to be absolutely hilarious for everyone else. Or so I hope. We begin, as usual, with Alvin, who is, of course, left the Daily Bagel.
Pass.
No, you don't. No pass. We can blitz through yours though if you want, but you still got to go through it.
But you said flashbacks, therefore it doesn't have to be in standard order.
Yes, but if I thought about doing it the other way, but if I did the other way, you would have two back-to-back moments, and wouldn't that be worse?
Who knows?
In any case, Alvin, the kids are gone, and with them any need to put on airs. How are you feeling after tonight?
I thought this was supposed to be a flashback.
It's kind of a flashback. It's kind of a scene from closing night. Deal with it.
It's just a continuation of last session, my guy.
It's meant to also be somewhat short.
Nick, don't be argumentative.
I'm teasing the logistics of how this all goes out.
I know.
And yes, this is fairly short. Effectively, now that all the kids are gone, it's right back to business of making sure that shit's handled. Gonna need to send some emails because a lot of people don't have cell phones with text-based, setups. We're gonna do some phone calls. And I need to contemplate whether or not I need to insert a ghoul into Rotary Club for more precise, you know.
Shall I make a roster of the Rotary Club for you before next session, maybe, so you can consider who among there you might decide to make a ghoul?
It might be helpful, because at this point it's one of those, I need to contact the dean in order to make sure that, like, the ongoings around the school security is upped, and that the students, in particular, the law students, are being paid more attention to. In terms of Allison's friends, I need to get the who's who as to actually who's been spending time around her and gifting her such valuable, uh, acquisitions.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So who are you calling, who are you emailing, and who are you texting? And who are you snail mailing, if applicable?
See, therein lies the thing. Definitely sending an email to the dean, keeping it broad, basically making sure that security gets up to date. I need to know which sponsors are now starting to take an interest in particular in the Rotary Club, if any. New faces that are showing an interest that weren't showing an interest before.
Maybe also an offer of some sort of donation specifically towards boosting campus security.
Of
At
course,
least around the buildings that your sister is, like the dorms, because dorm crime is like going up lately. You've got to be concerned about that. Maybe some more cameras, some better.
The email will also include the fact that there will be a journalistic endeavor that students can kind of put in for some extra credit if they want to or at least an offer of hey, send journalists the Daily Bagel's way. We're gonna start spotlighting some of the best scoops and stories in our own little newsletter and spread of basically, hey, send some students that want some exposure or some extra field work. Beyond that, again, I don't think that all of the Rotary Club necessarily has like full-blown texting capabilities, but send some calls, some voicemails,
Maybe a post on a forum of some kind they may or may not have. Maybe like
well, these the ones to keep an eye specifically on Allison and get an idea of like who's been hanging around her is definitely going to be personal lines, not
are you going to have
broad.
Kyle drop off letters, perhaps, or
that wouldn't be too bad. But I also know that Kyle will be busy in the coming days, as I will be taking the car that we currently have and putting it in his name going forward. As I will need
a new
to
card or your new identity.
Yes, I will need to be acquiring new digs to be driving about, and a few other
I should have given this to you with the last one, but add a one dot in the alternate identity background for your new papers.
Okay.
It's not a very steady background. If someone new to look for it, they'd probably be able to find it or break it easy. But if they don't know to look for it to begin with, you're good. Sorry, I meant to give that to you last session.
No, that's perfectly fine. My only question is, how might I expand upon that to make that alternate identity a bit more foolproof?
We can talk about it, but obviously there would be some probably end up having to find someone that can work in that sort of thing. Clearly, Max will probably know someone that can if you want to ask him about it.
Of course, I also have my own way with computers and technology and resources, so he has connections. I have, technical know-how.
We can certainly add that onto the to-do list.
But no, small processes of now that I know that there is a destination that I can go away from prying eyes, there's a new to-do list of things to prepare before I can even go there for the first time, because it would be foolish of me to just simply walk over and drive there with my current assets that are easily trackable to not only my sire, but others that are relatively close and well informed.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Um,
So is that
Beyond
it on
that,
your to-do list this night?
no, I need to make sure to remind the staff of the Daily Bagel that Halloween is upon us, and we need to make sure that the mortals are appeased for their holiday. So the bagel will be needing to do some little, trick or treat buckets for, bagels, donuts and the like. A few other odds and ends. Make sure the place gets decorated, considering there's only a few days left. I'm sure that we've already been doing seasonal deals, but,
You know that
get
most of
the
the
people
places on the
enticed.
street are doing something for that, aside from the textbook place.
Hmm. Be sure to communicate with the rest of the stores and kind of remain on theme.
I would have allowed you to have like a moment to have like planned this ahead of time, but during the time skip. But you were busy during the time skip.
Oh, it's true, but this is a casual reminder, and Kyle's no slouch, so I would assume that something's probably already in the works.
Indeed.
I would imagine that with how Jess and Sarah are, they would also probably enthusiastically take into the idea of redecorating the bagel to a certain degree.
Hmm. And of course, some candy buckets and maybe some Halloween themed
Get a coffee,
special.
get a treat for free kind of thing.
Hmm.
Nothing crazy to break the bank, but, little something.
Hmm. And maybe there's
Of
like a special chocolate caramel coffee thingy you got going on there. I don't
course.
know.
Beyond that, rotary members for Allison, checking with the dean. What other contexts do I have that need to be appraised? Um, hmm. Still need to settle things with Bruce and Lena at some point. But at that same venture, I might also, be waiting on information from the Nosferatu. No, I don't think there's anything else that I can do exactly
Well, you still need to
this
actually
night.
iron out details of a deal with the Nosferatu. You didn't really get a chance
Mm-hmm.
before Donovan had to divert the conversation because he saw Longwell coming up behind you.
Mm-hmm. No, I entirely understand. For the most part, tonight is the securing of things, making sure that Kyle did in fact get Jess to her designation, and
Indeed.
I now need to make the decision of whether or not I begin the process of inducting Jess. That might be a complicated bag of things, considering that Mark is hinted onto her scent at this point. But a ghoul is not doomed to die, so to speak, so she could still live somewhat of a mortal life.
Hmm. That is, in fact, a very mixed bag. We shall see how that goes. But is that it for you before you retire for the evening?
Is there something I could roll in order to get any nods to anything I might be neglecting in this moment from our gracious storyteller?
Hmm.
My brain's still getting coffee.
None off the top of my head, but if I think of something later, well, I'd feel bad if I didn't allow you to retcon it in.
That's the reason why I'm asking for if there's a check or
So
something.
unless it comes
Okay.
up otherwise during this particular session, I will allow you like a basically between now and next session to think on anything you want to add into your preps this particular night before we move on to the next night.
Mm-hmm.
Just consider an IOU if you think of something that that you think you're missing.
Nope, that's fair. The three categories are basically just Allison preparation through the school, daily bagel preparation for the holidays, preparation to capitalize on this alternate identity and not start just drawing all the old attention to the new place too soon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it.
Indeed. Speaking of which, we still need to set on a backdrop image for that. It's still up to you if you want to find one yourself, or you want me to
Mm-hmm.
find one.
I'll think on it. I just wasn't expecting that post today, so
Yeah, sorry, I didn't think to
I
ask.
wasn't expecting to go there anyway until I was ready to like have everything signed off and signed over. So
Yeah, I did. I wasn't in hyper pressure for it because I didn't think it would come up necessarily this session. Maybe aside from the start of the next night, but yeah.
mhm. Yep, nope. That's gonna sit until I have fully prepped and made sure that things at the bagel are set.
The only rule is that if it's a picture, if you find the picture, it has to be at nighttime, or at least with the sun mostly set,
Mm-hmm.
which is harder than you might think.
That's adorable that you think that.
If you want to have an acceptable quality picture, yes, yes, it is.
Again, I find that amusing that you think that. Don't worry. I got you.
In any case, we move on to Olivia. Olivia, you are just outside the Devil's Footstool.
Yay.
Your feet have carried you here, but you pause a bit before going in. You've probably got to tell Lyra about things and Giovanni paranoia and why it's your fault, and she's probably going to be mad. You've never really seen her mad before. How are you feeling?
Nervous. Paranoid. Run.
Uh, can you imagine how upset she'd be if you ran from her? Goodness.
Run more? I don't know. Hi, baby. Stop clawing the side of my chair. Go away. I love you. You're okay. Good girl.
I'll let Daniel know he should eat chicken.
No. Then he'll have to run.
I don't know. I think he could just sit on you and he'd probably be fine.
Oh, damn it, you're right. I'll be like, just hitting his back, like, don't do it.
In any case, to go in or not to go in?
Olivia's gonna drum up whatever courage she can and head in.
No doubt holding the foot statue out as a shield.
Probably.
Well,
Where-
inside you do find Lyra. Judging by the lack of vehicles outside, anyone that was here tonight has already left.
Okay.
But considering she seems happy and upbeat, there are probably likely people here.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey Olivia. How's my little girl doing?
Um, good and not good. I have something to talk to you about. Do you have a
Oh
moment?
boy, this sort of talk. Goodness, let me try and guess. No, it's not. You're not drunk. You're not pregnant. No, of course you're not pregnant. You can't get pregnant anymore. Um, yeah. Okay, I'm out of things. I'm out of guesses.
Okay. So there's a whole dumpster fire of like what the actual heck going on, and it's way less fun than trying to figure out if Arthur Wayman's Bop It buns are a fashion statement or the real deal.
That's probably
And
because you didn't put any fireworks in the dumpster. It happens. It's an
damn
easy
it,
mistake.
you're probably right. I'll put that on my checklist.
Anyway, go on.
Um, okay, well, do you remember the time like 3 Thursdays and a Wednesday ago, give or take a millennium, when you were a total gem and let me your ride back when Ashley was like flitting around like a caffeinated hummingbird?
I thought she was more like a caffeinated butterfly, but okay.
I mean, I could go either way. I can see her as a butterfly. Very cute
No,
butterfly.
not your butterfly. You already have a butterfly. Well, butterfly to be.
I could have more than one, you
Speaking
know?
from experience, that's a bad idea.
Okay, fine. Fine.
Well, unless they both know about each other ahead of time and are okay with it.
Well, I'm not
Then you can have all
dating
the
them.
butterflies you want.
You know what? Okay, that's another conversation for another time. Um, I'm not dating either of them, and I'm straight. I hope you know that.
Who
So,
said
even
anything
th
about dating or mating?
okay, that's fair. Wait, I'm getting distracted. Um, so we took your car, right? Because we were
Oh, right, to go take care of my checklist and my shopping list and sort yourselves out. Or sort your friend out,
yeah.
anyway. She looks like she needs
Well,
sorting out.
turns out Ashley and I took a little detour on our noble quest of your organic kale and cheese or whatever we got you. I can't remember. Oh, ice cream. Ice cream. That's what we got. Anyway, that's not the point. We swung by Casa de
Well, I
Giovanni.
know you didn't scratch my baby because I already checked my baby, and my baby has no scratches.
Your car's fine ish. Your car's fine. That's not what happened. Your car's fine. I didn't lick it either.
Please tell me my baby did not smack into my baby.
No, no, no. We kind of make it. We made a detour to swing by Giovanni's mansion. Ashley,
Why would you go there? It's so gray and boring and like horror movie-esque. Are you into horror movies? Did I never noticed that before? I am so sorry. We should have some horror movie nights.
that would be nice. God damn, I'm getting distracted. Uh,
Ira is meant to be very distracting.
yeah. Like, no, 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 no. Yes, horror movie night would be nice. Um, but no, that's not what happened. We swung by the Giovanni house because Ashley had some top secret spy stuff to do, which involved us rocking some truly heinous roadkill chic meets discount drag queen.
Wait,
Anyway, we
have I like been dumb my whole life and not realized pink is a valid camo color? Goodness. I can be
thinking,
pink and sneaky.
you know what? I'm gonna put that on my checklist too. We need to get camo pink. Damn it, Lyra! No, we were staking out the house like amateur PIs from a dollar store detective novel, and well, we got chased off the property, like because I wasn't thinking about anything. My brain, bless its scattered little circuits, didn't exactly scream, "Hey, that's Lyra's car. Maybe don't park it outside the vampire mafia's lair." Nope. Just wanted to help my buddy out. Never asked questions. Just went along for the ride, and now the
Uh,
now Lucio's very twitchy and paranoid, probably thinking you're planning to replace his prized collection of porcelain dolls with glitter bombs or something equally heinous. I don't
No,
know.
I don't want his dolls. His dolls are silly and
Uh,
kind of gross.
yeah. Well, I'm just gonna let you know we're kind of under fire. Lucio's very paranoid,
Okay,
and
so you did a dum dum. You
yeah,
did a very dum dum. This is probably where I'm supposed to like spank you or something, but I'm not really into that, and I don't think it was that bad. And besides, I'm sure he's not going to go do anything awful to me.
are you
Wait,
sure?
is Lucio? I mean, he is a Giovanni. He is like kind of up there. I'm not entirely sure, but if he did, well, hopefully one of my friends would help me out, so I'd probably be fine.
Okay. I don't want Ashley in trouble either, because
Now, if anything
you
happens
know
to my baby, there would be an entirely different story. Nothing happens to my baby, understood?
your car, right? Nothing happened to your baby, and I did not lick it.
I can have you asking about two babies without saying plural.
Oh,
Goodness.
oh,
Are
okay.
you okay?
Well,
And she
I
pats you on the head and looks inspects you up close.
I'm okay, but a lot of things went down in the court, and Ashley's not okay because Lucio kind of came up to her, and it was very traumatic for her, and left her pretty much doing a 180. Um, like I don't know, she just ended
Well,
up
this is
clamming
normally
up.
where I'd tell you that we should bake her a cake, but we don't have any cake baking stuff here.
Would cake even help?
She looks at you like you're dumb. Of course it helps. Cake helps everything.
Well, it just okay. Well, you know what? I'm Wait, you mentioned you had friends that help you. Who are your friends? Are you talking about the people who are normally here? Wait,
Of
now I'm
course.
getting
What do you think I made
distracted.
this place?
Yeah,
Out of character, if you don't, I'm not sure if you remember, but way back from the intro, the reason this like underground like bar exists beneath their diner is she made it for her Brujah friends,
that's right.
most of whom were still in torpor from the original Sabat fight 5 years prior.
Oh, that's right. I've been wanting to ask Lyra about her past, but that can be a different session. Um, I really wanted to know about that. But yeah, a lot of things just went down in the court and it just wasn't that great. And I want to be able to protect Ashley, and I know you don't really need protection from me. I can't even protect you from a werewolf for Christ's sakes. But
Hey there, no werewolves here. I think there's
uh,
no werewolves here, are there?
no,
Let's hope there's no
there
werewolves.
better not be.
Okay, whew. Okay, cool. No, not
But
werewolves.
Mark's
There's no safe space.
Mark's explanation of werewolves made me realize that yeah, I'm the weakest worm in the apple. So, yeah. But that's not the
You
point. The
have to live
point
a very long time to be able to go up to werewolves, I'm afraid. At least
yeah,
that's how it was told to me, and I haven't gotten there, but I haven't exactly tried either.
probably not best not to try. Though I
In
would
any
like to
case,
go.
I'm going to start. No, wait, I need to go shopping for that. I don't have enough time to go shopping. Well, I'll worry about baking your friend a cake tomorrow.
Do you think I could help?
I mean, sure, but if you want, I mean, you know. No, she's not. She's all marshmallow, I'm afraid.
Dude, I was worried that she was gonna like just outright be like, in the
Hmm.
corner now, 5 minutes. No, but yeah, basically that's Olivia sums up like what's been happening and how did she survive with her coterie?
Mostly because her coterie was intent on protecting the marshmallow at all costs, presumably.
that that makes
She had
sense.
all the plot armor of a mascot.
So we got two marshmallow Malkavians, got it. That's cool.
Like sire, like child.
I like it.
You
Is there anything I can
don't
do
even know who
though?
else was in her coterie other than your own sire, anyway, Alvin. And yes, Lucky Charms for the win. Hmm. How
But
lucky are
yeah,
these charms, I wonder? In any case, the question is, do you wish to stay here for the night, or are you going to go to the catacombs like planned?
probably to the catacombs.
The catacombs, in your recent visits, you do know they do have rooms down there for anyone that wishes to claim sanctuary, or just needs a place to stay for the night. They're not fancy things. They're kind of simple,
Mhm.
but it does feel oddly communal down there. And you definitely feel safe, like no one can touch you while you're down there.
Mhm.
Though how safe that actually is, you have no idea. But we will resume with you in the catacombs tomorrow.
Mhm.
For now, it is time for another one of the children. Ah, the marshmallow memes keep rolling.
That's funny. Oh, wait, I forgot I'm not even muted.
In any case,
Mm.
Ashley. Let's move over to here because you're technically in a car.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, you have only just left the bagel, having climbed into the back seat of Dr. Thorne's car after he opened the door for you, and are now alone, aside from the two of you, just beginning the drive down towards the chantry. It is all right, you know, Dr. Thorne will say from where he's in the front seat looking at you through the rearview mirror. You don't have to bother holding yourself together on my account. We are neither among your coterie, nor in Elysium, nor in the chantry. There are none here to judge you should you fall apart for just a moment.
Ashley will kind of lean into the door more and stare up at the mirror, and she'll be like, "Thank you. Um, a lot happened tonight, sir. I'm not gonna lie on that. Uh, and also thank you for coming to get me. I really didn't want to snap.
I would have been there much sooner if I could have been.
I understand. Um, it's it was hard. I
How
felt
did this come to happen? It was my understanding that your venture associate was something of a watchful guard dog, perhaps? Or something of the like for your coterie?
everyone calls him the den mother,
Den mother.
but den mothers can only help when they know what's going on, and I haven't been fully honest with them.
Well, in some way that makes sense. But you should at least have let him know about the ongoing situation involving Lucia and his ill desire towards you. That much, at least, is certainly able to be shared, yes?
That is true. I just didn't want to. I wanted to distance them as much as possible from him. It obviously didn't work.
And now it is no longer possible.
No, unfortunately.
I'm not going to ask you if you're all right anymore. I don't think you are.
Um,
But you have a good 15 minutes, 30 if I take the long route, before we get to the chantry. Before you have to act presentable.
mm-hmm. Well, he stirred up quite a bit tonight.
I wish I had been there tonight. It's been a very, very long time since I've wanted someone dead quite this badly. And you can see Dr. Thorne white-knuckling the grip on that steering wheel, just like you were white-knuckling the grip on your bag earlier tonight.
I'm right there with you, sir, and we probably would both be dead at that point. So I'm glad you weren't there.
Well, we wouldn't be dead. We would be likely, possibly on the run after I did what I would have done to him, but we wouldn't be outright dead.
Fair. That is fair. But he did bring up my parents, which is why I texted I need anything you have on them. It
May I
kind of
ask what he said specifically? If it's not too hard for you.
he confirmed what you said, that my mother was Giovanni, and he kind of confirmed my theory from growing up and hearing things from my uncle when he'd be on the phone in the middle of the night, that they were definitely murdered for getting their nose into things they weren't supposed to.
So I'm
And-
afraid my actual knowledge of what your parents were up to was not as wide as my knowledge of who they were in terms of more basic details or histories.
And he mentioned my little annoying ability to hear things that aren't actually there.
Oh, they're there. They're just not seeable normally.
Yeah.
It
Basically.
is one of the reasons I chose you. I'd be lying if I said otherwise.
It's an annoying ability. I don't like it. It's quite creepy
In time,
sometimes.
perhaps you will come to appreciate it. But I understand that that time can be anywhere from tomorrow to 100 years from now, or longer.
Fair.
I didn't always appreciate the things I had when I began this on life.
It's... Sometimes I just wish I never had it. It bothers me. But one day I hope it will be useful. other than that, also found out that I made a huge mistake a few weeks ago. It's not.
I've been keeping fairly close tabs on you. Was not aware of any sort of mistake you've made. You succeeded your ritual masterfully, even if you have been distracted with your personal efforts I haven't peered into.
Uh,
And otherwise have been, even in the Regent's own words, a quite upstanding upcoming premier.
yeah, which is why I know this is a really big mistake on my part. I should have been using a little bit more of my brain, but, you know,
Okay, what
stress.
is it we have to cover up, and who died, and where are the bodies hidden?
No one's dead, but we put quite a large target on a certain Malkavian sire by driving her car to the Giovanni's. I completely blanked on the fact that this thing is a pink beacon.
You drove Lyra, her baby, the car she's always going on about, the bright pink, old-fashioned convertible, the classic antique car that everyone knows who it belongs to in the city. For your little visit to the Giovanni residence I asked you to make.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah.
Child, I am normally quite very proud of you, but allow me to say this just once. That was incredibly stupid.
I know. It came to light tonight when Alvin came
I
back
don't
from
want to be harsh
talking.
with you considering what you just went through tonight, but all the same, that was
Stupid.
not a smart idea.
It was stupid. So,
Does he know it was you? Tell me they at least didn't see your faces.
no. From what Alvin said, they don't realize it was Olivia and I. We did get disguises. We put on makeup and wigs and at least did that. So, no, they don't know it's specifically us. Or at least me. Olivia, probably, because that's her sire's car. Who else would be driving it? Besides
Our
Lyra.
plans may now need to include some sort of distraction to focus their suspicion on. But that will require further thought on my part. Meantime, we'll be at the Chantry in 5 minutes, unless you need me to take us the longer route.
I think that's everything. If there's anything else, I may have to take a walk.
The length of the route doesn't matter on how much you have to tell me, child. It matters on how well you're doing.
I don't want to break anything, so I think I'm better, knowing at least somewhere safe. Or
Are
safer.
you sure?
I don't feel like prey anymore. I feel more like I'm ready to hunt and destroy. But I can keep it
In that
composed.
case, Dr. Thorne will say as he pulls into the Chantry's garage, a decently sizable underground affair. And get out, close his door, and come around to open yours. Let me at least escort you to your room. Perhaps at the very least I can divert any unwanted attention.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And she'll get out of the car.
As he helps you out of the car, he will for a moment give you a somewhat gentle embrace. You're going to make it through this. It will take more than this to break someone like you, won't it?
Unfortunately, yes, it's going to take a lot more.
Perhaps we shall have a moment to let a certain someone know that before the end. He doesn't speak in specifics, not now that you're here at the Chantry, but he does smile ever so slightly.
She'll smile back and nod.
With that, you are escorted up to your room. Not in punishment, but for your own mental well-being as you're putting yourself together.
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, brings us on to Pius. Pius, who has been walking through the sewer trying to figure out what he's going to say when he gets home. Home. He has a home. Not his haven outside the Warrens, but a home with actual, not animals that apparently care about him. That is the weirdest shit he has heard his entire life in unlife. But it's true, apparently.
That's him making his way home.
You don't have that many rats yet, man, and the Nosferatu don't have that many rats here yet.
He's in his mind.
It's in his mind. Yeah, one day these will all be covered with the niblets. The niblets will expand to encompass the entire sewers. Hmm. But in any case, is this what having family that cares about you involves? Well, some less caring part of yourself is unsure why you should care. The still human portion of you, whatever's left, can't help but compare it to the awful life you had in the foster system growing up, and wondering what it would have been like for them to have cared as much as your unliving family does. But eventually, you make it into the Warrens proper. You notice more than a few familiar faces, of course. After all, everyone knows everyone down here in the Warrens. You wouldn't be surprised if even the rats recognized each other by face. You can hear Donovan's voice echoing as he's talking to someone, off in some corner. Obviously, he's not trying to keep quiet, so it's not something private. You see the lumbering. Oh, sorry, I should probably do the proper way of going about this. You can see the lumbering jacks lurking around in the shadows near the spawning pool, the sort of place the Nosferatu set up for the rats. You see Hal up and about again. He was in torpor for a while. Though he has lost his child, he is still, and still seems to be coming to grips with that, so might be not a good conversation topic for tonight. However, what would absolutely be a good conversation person tonight is undoubtedly your sire, who will, smile excitedly when she realizes you actually came. Of course, she's not going to be the first one to make it to you. Why would she ever be the first one to make it to you? Slam!
Oh, Belle, what's up?
You actually came! I thought you were going to dip out on us. You aren't going to dip out on
No.
us, were you?
No, of course not. I
Good.
wouldn't do that.
I might have had to do something desperate.
Well,
Like
we will not do that.
break your wall? I already broke your door. Kind of not sure what I would do, but I would have done something.
We can go to my room and break something.
No, no. I wouldn't want to mess things up there.
Okay.
But in any case, Mom's waiting. Now come on, let's go. And
Oh
she will get
shit.
behind you and start pushing you by the shoulders.
Oh god, here we go.
Well, look who decided to show up. Okay, I'm glad you decided to show up. I was worried you weren't going to.
Well, I promised you that
They're
I would.
snickering over in the corner as one of your let me see here. One of your fellow fledglings is absolutely finding this incredibly hilarious. It's like any child that often finds themselves in trouble, but gets to see someone else's child in trouble instead of them for once. That's probably what this is.
Pius would look at him and point and just stare menacingly and just be like, noogies all around on you then, brat.
He stares right back, and his smile, laughing without laughing, laughs all the louder despite being quiet all the same. Hmm. Hey, no, no, don't look at him. You're looking at me here. You're my kid, and you're finally back home. Goodness.
It's been a while.
It has. Now come, it's almost time for do we have time for movie night still? Oh, we do have time for movie. It's a short movie. Okay. We have time for short movie night. It would have been a longer one, but everyone was busy with the Elysium tonight.
About that, I'm sorry for slipping about the whole, things I'm getting up to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wasn't lying though. I will go to Lynette if I have to.
Please don't.
She'd probably even agree with it, especially
You
if I
probably
explain
would.
that's something making you more focused on future sessions. I could convince her easily, darling. In any
I'll
case,
behave.
come along. It's family time. And she will
Hmm.
grab you and drag you with all the strength a mother with potence can. By which I mean your arm is nearly yanked out of its socket as she pulls you forward, and your feet must struggle to keep up with her.
He's trying his best.
He's trying his best, but is his best enough? Yes, Pius is in love with a cannibal, and a cannibal that doesn't believe in human emotions. Or at least human emotions as a vampire.
Oh, I don't think Pius has a thing for Lynette. He thinks she's fascinating.
I believe tonight it's Western night, which you would know if you had actually been here regularly enough to know the schedule.
Ooh, are we watching Broken Arrow?
Don't think so. It's one of the older ones.
Ah,
By which I have no idea. I didn't think of one. I just know it's a shorter one.
it'll still
Hmm,
be fun. It's with my mom.
indeed. And thus the Nosferatu clan gathers for what is a weird sort of movie night, with a actual projector projecting against a tarp that's been mounted on one wall. It's
Can
almost like being
Pius
in a movie
beckon
theater,
his
except
his
underground.
little rodent family to him?
What was that?
Can I beckon my rodents and
You already
pet?
have two of them with you, and the other one needs to stay with the kids.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that Comstock and Squeakers
Yeah, I mean they
were
were
the
with
thing.
you in the Daily Bagel, unless you sent them away while you were on your way home. You still have
Okay.
them with you.
All right. Just making sure. God, I can't wait to come across a freaking Doberman pincher.
What's the Doberman Pinscher?
Those dogs with the cropped ears that usually guard gates in like action-packed movies and stuff. Like brown and gold with like the clipped ears. Well,
Huh.
black and gold.
You only for some reason when I thought Doberman, I was thinking like little wiener dog.
No.
Oh well, I'll probably figure it out later.
Yeah, that's a Dode. Yep. That's a Doberman.
Ah, okay.
Wait for someone to be walking one of them bad boys. I don't care if they're watching or not. Pi's gonna snatch that thing up and take him home and pet him and give him
Yeah,
foods and.
unfortunately, in terms of actual boss tier, in terms of home defense, that goes to the German Shepherd. You know, the dog that actually waits for them to get farther into their territories to make sure they can't escape once they finally attack, and then jumps them when they try to leave.
Yeah, but those things are like big bears. Like you see two Dobermans like running at you, even though like Saint Bernards or anything like that are like way more devastating. It's like the cosmetics of the Doberman.
Hmm. So I just like those little video shorts I showed you all on the other channel of like the basically the German Shepherd like just getting ready, and the robber's like, "Why do I hear a boss music?" But I am distracting. In any case, thus ends Thursday, October 29th, 1995. A tumultuous night indeed. But not where we are ending for tonight, as we move on to the night that follows. And that night would be Friday, October 30th, 1995. A tumultuous night may have indeed preceded you, but things never close up nicely after just one night. Alvin, you awaken where you usually do. Last night was a rough and tumble roller coaster of events for you, good and bad, especially the bad. There's the usual sounds of chatter and work coming up from above, along with the sounds of movement and friction just outside the door.
Movement and friction just outside the door, huh?
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
Hmm. Alvin will get up, prepare himself, so on and so forth. There isn't really supposed to be friction and movement outside his door, considering that the basement is not really a place where most are supposed to come and mess around with. So, he's gonna take a peek outside the door first and foremost.
You
Try
see
not to overdrive.
Joshua cleaning something against the wall next to your door.
Joshua.
Oh, hey! He says, interrupting his wiping and scrubbing at a stain you know for a fact you cleaned up after Olivia from the last night, where she tossed her coffee aside on the wall
Mm-hmm.
upon seeing the others.
So why are we at my door in the basement where, I'm the one who's supposed to be doing the cleaning?
Sorry, I just saw it, and I was dropping some supplies off at the closet over there, and I see a stain. I gotta clean the stain. It's a thing. It was mostly gone, mind you, but figured I'd touch it up before I got back upstairs, clock out, so to speak, and join the others celebrating.
Go upstairs and enjoy the celebration. You're not supposed to be in this space. You know the hallway over there.
Fine, fine. But at least this time I got your word that it's on you. Okay. And he will pack up whatever's left. There's not that much stain left to begin with. Even less so from where you left it the previous night. He moves on to over. Besides, I want to make sure I get a cupcake before they're all gone.
You should.
Side eye.
Calvin will kind
Where
of
have you been all day, anyway?
just doing work, things of that nature. I'm a very busy man. I have other enterprises that go beyond just the bagel.
Yeah, makes sense. But you missed out on some of the cupcakes earlier. There's probably only a few left.
Never been much of a cupcake person anyway. That's
Well,
alright.
don't let Jess hear you say that. She was smiling ear to ear when she gave them to us.
I'll probably give it a try. It's just, cupcakes tend to be a little too sweet for my tastes. A bit more of a savory kind of guy.
Yeah, fair enough. I understand. Yeah, meat and potatoes. That said, kind of hard to say no when she's smiling like that, and they do actually taste nice, despite how she probably blitzed to make them during the lunch break.
Uh,
But celebrating things is celebrating things.
Fair enough. Let's head on up and get with the rest of the crew then. I'll be right up after.
Right, right. And after he puts stuff up in the closet, he heads up the stairs, leaving you by
Alfred will
yourself.
be sure to do a cursory glance of anything that might be moved out of place or, particularly off, making sure that Joshua didn't stumble into anything that he didn't need to
No,
be
no,
looking
no. He
at.
never went. He doesn't. He hasn't gone into any of the rooms. Only this
Hmm.
hallway section and that closet over there.
Hmm.
And
Well,
that's it.
and in
Entire
front of
floor
my
is.
door, so.
This entire floor has been swept clean. The vacuumed, mopped, whatever.
Hmm.
And any stains other than that one have already been taken care of. So.
Hmm. Because there's the door to like the main room where the TV, the couch, and like the living space is, and then there's like the door to Alvin's actual room.
My bad. I think I meant the door outside the TV and movie space.
Okay. Okay.
My apologies.
No, not a problem, because then I imagine there's probably the hallway that like leads to like the supply closet, and then a storage space like that opens up to the other like space under the bagel where employees can go, but he's mostly trying to make sure that like the sewer entrance isn't like discovered per se.
Mhm.
So that's not something he needs to be poking around at.
Indeed, indeed.
That
Side eye
said,
at Joshua for sure.
heading upstairs, following after, you didn't get the sense that Joshua was like dominated into like poking around a little bit, is he?
Mm, mm.
Well, if he was, it was not by any means you know how to detect.
Okay.
I mean, if you have awareness, I suppose it could allow a perception awareness roll if you want to try and be sure on that, but
I don't have
I won't
awareness. I'm
necessarily
gonna
tell
have to.
the result from that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start poking at picking some of that up.
Side eye.
In
That
any
said,
case,
he will go upstairs to check on who remains in the bagel.
apparently everyone. And there is some sort of celebration going on, even as they're in the middle of cleaning.
Hmm.
And Jim is being tossed a cupcake that he takes with a smile.
What's the
Up
means for
here are the
celebration? I understand it is Devil's Night.
October 30th is Devil's Night, not
Hmm.
31st.
Yeah, 31st is Hallows Eve,
All Hallows Eve, yeah.
and then the
Uh,
30th is Devil's Night.
May I also get these two up? Boop, because the whole crew is in fact here.
Hmm.
Oh, you didn't hear? Kyle says he sidles over to you, kind of looking over at the others as they're going about the somewhat delayed but somewhat jubilant final activities. And
You're gonna have to clue me in.
he'll lean over to whisper quietly. Well, it is kind of suspicious, not gonna lie, but apparently, uh, well, Jess's family got some good news. Apparently, her folks are kind of about to lose the family home and some medical debt loan stuff, apparently. But this morning, they had a visitor from the bank that told them the mortgage and the loan were paid in full by someone else, someone anonymous.
Hmm.
Which normally I would say is like, just random good luck, but since I know things now that I didn't know like a few years ago, he looks at you with that kind of knowing look. You obviously know what he's referring to without actually referring to it. Kind of find it suspicious. More than a little suspicious considering what happened last night.
I'd like for you to arrange for a small little note. Don't have that number, but I'm sure that somebody in our sphere can get a message out to him. Seek Mark Flowers, and he'll write down something brief, uh, asking for a moment of his time, nothing long or prolonged, just a small
Well,
little
I can
drop
try
in
and
or a
find.
response.
What do you know about him? I mean, what could help me find such information faster?
uh,
And by the way, who has last name Flowers like that? That's kind of.
you can probably get to the contact information from the Devil's Footstool in the Malkavians.
Right, I do know the ghoul that your friend Sire has working there, but I
That's
normally try and avoid talking to her. She has like this thing for me, but she makes it weird.
Let's just say that this is a friend of our mutual friend here.
I know.
I have
Any
a
preferred time you wanted to see
suspicion.
you?
I have a suspicion that this might be related, but can't be sure without confirmation.
Um, Anytime you want me to have him specify for him to meet you?
Anytime he likes, you can include my contact information if he doesn't want to show up and just wants to send a call.
Right. Well, do you want me to go take care of that now, or
Anytime today or tomorrow. I'm, well, you can be suspicious about this. I've got one of two that it could probably be. One, the bad side. The other, I'm hopeful, the good side.
Right. Well, in that case, I'm going to take another cupcake. I'll let Jim know that it's a fine night for him to take on my duties. I normally take care of at the end of the night. He certainly watched me do them enough.
Mhm.
And as a trial run for later, and I'll go take care of that for you.
Thanks, bud. He'll give him a pat on the shoulder.
You too, boss man. Just do what you can, okay? I know
Of course.
I know I work for you, not the other way around, but I didn't like seeing that last night.
I didn't either. And so we're trying to make sure that things are taken care of, not just here, but also with Allison.
Just let me know where you need me to bury the bodies. You'll say with a grin and walk off, grabbing a cupcake from Jess with a smile at Jess. His previous bit with you masked, relatively
Mm-hmm.
completely, before he makes his farewells and heads out the door after giving Jim the to-do list.
Mm-hmm. Let's
But in the
see.
meanwhile, what is there for a Ventrue to do?
Well, I'm going to congratulate Jess on her fortunate tidings and make sure that the staff of the Daily Bagel is well in true spirits for, tomorrow evening's how's, Eve. Make sure that they know that while, business is business, they all can take off, for the evening activities. Like, we don't need to have shop open all the way into trick-or-treating time. So if they've got things they want to go do with the family or otherwise, to make sure that they prioritize that.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Right.
Daily Bagel will close a little earlier than normal for
I have a
Halloween.
question.
Of course.
Um, I know like we normally have to wear our uniforms and our aprons, but I don't suppose we could like do costumes or something. Jess will say from our corner of the room.
So long as it's appropriate, sure. Make sure you can still, manage the daily shifts and, make sure
Why
that,
wouldn't it be appropriate?
it's college town. I've seen a lot of what they've worn over the past couple of years.
No. That's fine. Nothing like that. I promise.
It's clear that he's putting this in a teasing, kind of tone. But because he doesn't expect that of either Jess or Sarah, for that matter.
Mhm.
But yeah, no. If you all want to dress up for your shifts for tomorrow, by all means. But again, make sure that you got family plans. Prioritize those. We can close the bagel a little bit earlier. That's fine.
So Jim will say from behind the counter, we're not joining with the whole community event thing.
We are, but in that same vein, it's one of those, the bagel doesn't need to be open for the full blown, coffee functionality. We can just pass out, treats and the like. Make sure that
Right. Well, I
the
call dibs on first shift. That's fine. I got second. Sarah will say from where she's putting the last chair on top of a table. That's when the real good costumes come out.
Mm,
Besides, it lets me go steal some from the Chinese next door during the first shift.
I'm glad you're all excited. How
But
is speaking of family? How is your cousin doing?
better. I mean, she's been seeing a therapist, and it seems like she got off. Like I don't want to say this because it seem like she got off easy, but she got off kind of light compared to some of those that were there.
It's good to hear.
Not a lot of them came out of it well, from what I know. I don't think anyone came out of it well, but relatively speaking, I'm just glad she's all right. It could have
That's
been
entire. That's
worse.
entirely understandable. Might also mark the strength of her character to be able to endure whatever the hell it was that happened, and still kind of rise back from it.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it does. And as you are having that conversation, however, we will skip ahead
Hmm.
ever so briefly. After all, we have a whole crew to get around to.
By all means.
Like a certain someone who is waking up in an unusual place, at least for them. Olivia,
Yep.
you awaken in the catacombs, specifically the sort of pseudo dormitories down here. Or more specifically, you are awakened being licked on the face.
Being what?
Licked on the face.
Being licked? Okay.
Licked on the
Um,
face.
I think that would startle her awake and kind of be like, what the hell?
You realize there is a very large cat licking you on your face,
Oh,
like lion
I
sized.
lions. Holy shit.
I said very large, and yes, like lion size, like great cat size. Although it's not like any great cat you've ever seen. Maybe something exotic, something endangered, you don't know.
Um, she's probably gonna pet it.
It lets you pet it once, but not twice. As it bolts out of the room, perhaps it's some sort of unseen cue.
Damn.
It moves pretty damn fast. Not sure if it's normal for cats like that to move that fast, or if there's something else at work there.
That's abnormal. That's weird. That I'm gonna have to ask about that.
Hmm. In any case, the others, Thinbloods, Cadith, and some other things besides, are going about getting ready for the night or are still conked out in the day sleep. None of the mortal priestesses are here. They typically stay in other quarters during the early hours.
Mhm.
It's kind of strange. Catholic church up on top, with at least one vampire Catholic priest, and
Yeah.
beneath it, a neo-Roman cult.
Oh, I know. She's back there. It is
Following the worship of a Roman goddess.
it's very confusing to Olivia, actually. Like she likes that the Two-Face are here, but she's very confused on like which one to follow, like or if she wants to follow any, to be honest. She's a confused being.
Indeed.
Um, I think God, see, because I have questions for both of them. I guess I'll get this one over with and then figure out how to do that one. Can she go talk to Father Vitale?
Of course. He's definitely up before you are.
Makes sense. He's a good guy.
You arise by order of humanity most of the time. Most of
Mhm.
the time. You find Father Vitale elsewhere in the catacombs, not in his normal chamber, but he seems to be having a rather pleasant conversation, or pleasant going by how well it's going on, or the like, with Yulia.
Okay.
They both seem to be smiling, that casual, sort of idle, friendly smile. Perhaps a little too friendly, even. Maybe it's more than just friendship, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Ooh, I'm gonna throw them a party. They're gonna have an engagement party now.
Good fucking luck.
They look cute together. Well, it depends on his faith too, because if he's Catholic, usually priests don't. They're celibate, depending on what type of Catholic priest.
We shall see. We shall see. In any
Oh.
case, it is Yulia who notices you first. Well, looks like someone's up, prompting Father Vitale to turn and take a look at you as well. Hmm.
I'm not
Olivia,
in a.
child,
Oh,
how are you tonight?
I'm doing really well. I'm not interrupting, am I?
Oh, no, I was just greeting Priestess Yulia for the start of the night.
Okay. Well, wait, it's not morning. I guess good evening to both of you.
That is generally how we do things. Good evening to you as well. And you as well. Hmm.
Um, can I ask a quick question? When I woke up, there was a large cat on me licking my face, and then I pet it and it ran, but it was kind of abnormal.
Abnormal?
It just didn't seem like a normal cat.
Ah. Yulia will seem to realize what you're talking about and smile. The smile of someone who knows a secret that you don't know and finds it amusing. Hmm. Father Vitali also seems to kind of clue in, though not quite as immediately or instantaneous as Yulia. Usually they don't do that to all the newcomers. There must be something about you that she likes.
That she likes? Is it?
Cat.
Well, I know. I mean, sorry, brain's all fuzzled here.
It's called a Kiefer cat. They're very, very, very rare.
Oh, it was really cool though.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, sorry. Uh, I just had a couple of questions. I just,
Of course. I certainly have time, Father Vitali will add. It's
well,
odd being in both their presence like this. It feels like you're getting a double dose of that normal aura that that Vitali has. That's like trustworthiness of, hey, it's fine, you can speak with me.
yeah. I think it would actually be a little intimidating too for Olivia because it's
Mhm.
like she sees them as authority figures to an extent, and that kind of puts her a little bit not on edge in a bad way, just kind of like more, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. Just two authority figures to respect and kind of not be jerks. Be a jerk to them. Got to
Mhm.
meet their expectations. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, indubitably. Indubitably.
Well, I have a question. I have many questions, but I'm gonna try not to bombard you with a bunch of stuff. I had yesterday at court, one of my friends kind of ended up getting into a little bit of a situation where it left them completely in a disarray of panic and everything. And as much as I do appreciate wanting to make a cake for them, what can I do to help them through their I don't even
Well,
know
if
what to
it's to give them a moment to calm down or better control themselves. While it might seem to be a not right thing to do, I believe you are already blessed with the ability to have helped them in that moment. Though out of
Yeah,
character, you forgot. And by that I mean you have the dementation power to dampen certain emotions.
true. I
You
forgot
could have
about
shut
that.
down Ashley's panic, at least until y'all got out of there.
I forgot about that. Crap. I'm sorry, Anna.
It's okay. Was that Nick laughing?
Yeah, that was Nick
Yes,
laughing. I for some reason thought I didn't think about using that.
you can
Um,
both heighten and shut down emotions with that. Yes.
that is true. I will have to keep that in mind. Also, I know I'm jumping here. It just like I said, my mind's fuzzled with everything. Um, I know you guys are of two different faiths, but how do you even reconcile your faith with being a kindred?
Ah, well, in my case, if I may go first, of course you can. Really will encourage Father Vitali. It is twofold. What do you know of the writings of the Book of Nod, child?
Book of Nod? I don't even know anything about it.
Supposedly, it is the mythical writings of Cain himself. Long ago. Modern night versions are often supposedly based on that, but are far, far removed from the language and likely important message conveyed in the original writings. But one thing that has survived, at least in some of the fragments I've seen, is the promise.
Promise?
Hmm. The promise that the Archangel Gabriel gave to Cain. The promise of potentially moving beyond the curse. Promise of Golconda. That is but one. The other one is quite simply, I believe the faith makes me more human, and believing in it gives me a sort of strength, both in myself and resisting certain other things besides.
Hmm.
As to reconciling my faith with the differences of dear Priestess Julia's, well, that's what we believe in may be different, but there are many core common values that we both share.
Hmm.
Indeed, we do. Priestess Julia will confirm.
Hmm. This I That's actually very insightful and kind of helpful. With us being kindred, what about self-forgiveness for anything that might have happened prior to, I don't know, like, not to be forward or rude or anything, but Father Vitali, like, you are of the Lasamba clan, and
I did a great many dark and dirty things before I came to my own enlightenment, yes. Make
how
no
did you
mistake, I was every bit as vile as some of those you fought against a month ago or more ago.
how did you do, or how did you find self-forgiveness? Does that come from your faith?
I'm still forgiving myself. It's a long process. But moving beyond what I was and realizing that what I was doing was wrong and that I needed change, well, that was a much harder thing,
That's fair.
which I hope you'll forgive me for, but I would rather not share the details of that quite so immediately. It is a very personal thing for me.
No, that's okay. I wouldn't actually expect you to want to go into detail with that, especially since we don't really know each other,
Mm.
and I
I'm
wouldn't
sure
want
we
you
will
to.
in time. I'm sure we will
Yeah.
in time. But
And
suffice it to
then,
know that when I talk about the dark depths a kindred's inner monstrosity can take them, I speak from experience.
mhm,
An experience I do not wish someone else to go through.
I know I have a lot of questions. I'm so sorry. I'm taking up so much time.
Not as much as others have, so I mean, you're good.
Um, I guess High Priestess Yulia, how did you become the High Priestess of the cult of Vesta? If you don't mind me asking, or
Hmm. It was bestowed on me by the carrier of the ember.
what's the carrier of the ember?
Person that carried the last spark of the flame of Rome, which now burns here in the catacombs.
That's right. I think that was our last lesson when I was here too. I was so distracted by the flame, I had a hard time concentrating. How do we still have humanity as kindred?
Because we remember what it's like to be human, among other things. Do not think that's so worthless as to be lightly tossed aside either.
Yeah,
We may no longer be among the living, or mortals ourselves, but it does not mean that our own lives are without value, or that we must become the monsters we can so easily become.
I think you guys gave me a lot to meditate on. I do have one more question for, well, both of you, I guess. I guess we could both answer if you wanted. Growing up, my family wasn't really religious in a traditional
Actually,
sense.
first, no,
What?
wait, no, go on, go on ahead.
Oh,
Sorry for.
you're okay.
Hmm.
But my family wasn't religious in a traditional sense, but we still believed in God. But now, faced with the unfamiliar beliefs here with like Vesta, and then the familiar concept of God, I'm kind of torn between either believing in what I grew up with or choosing a path that I do like, I'm just not familiar with, or maybe just not choosing anything at all.
Child, embracing my teachings doesn't mean that you need to swear oath, feel some sort of oath of like following to the cult of Vesta.
True,
The truths I teach are for all to hear, regardless of religion or belief.
true. I guess I really do like the spiritual faith that comes from both of you. Like just being here in this place, like gives me a sense of peace. Like rather I'm up in the church or down here in the catacomb. I just guess I'm just struggling on my own with my spirituality if I have any or not. I'm not sure how to word that. Sorry.
No need to
I
apologize, as you are still very young to this. It is normal for there to be struggles, even when you get up to be my age or older.
yeah.
In any case, let me check something real quick.
Mhm.
Never mind, you have no dots in academics. You cannot even make the roll.
Yeah, no, I do not. I'm
Untrained
good.
knowledges cannot be rolled unless I allow it.
That's fair. I
So,
didn't think about academics, to be honest.
this is already pretty out there and vague.
Out of game,
I will,
when you
however,
said the
since
ember holder, like in my head, like I heard a voice go, like, "Now that's the real Quishizzle," and then a chair turns around and it's still vampire Snoop Dogg.
And
much the
now all I
reference
can
there,
think
I don't
about
get it.
is Snoop Dogg carrying the Olympic flame.
Yeah, that's
Oh, is
exactly
that
what
what
was
the
going through
reference
my
is?
head.
Okay. Hmm.
That's funny. Um, I think to wrap this up, Olivia is going to reach in her pocket and hand High Priestess Yulia a Adder Stone, which I don't know if you guys know, which is it's a folklore. It offers protection and insight. It's just like a small gift
And what
for
cultures?
that. I don't know actually.
Not Celtic.
And what's it called?
An adderstone. It's a basically a It has a hole in it. It's a natural occurring.
Oh, witch's
And
stone.
there you go. Basically,
I will find it for them.
Anna's good at finding stuff. I love it. um, basically, it's like a small, smooth stone with a naturally occurring hole.
It's
In
druidic
it.
and Celtic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Olivia picked it
We'll
up
take it.
somewhere.
She doesn't refuse it at all or anything like
Yeah.
that.
She just
Be
said,
safe tonight, child. I believe there will be others that need you before the end of tonight.
"True." Um. Oh, Father Vitale. I don't know where she pulls this out of her ass, but she pulls it out some way, and it's just a candle with like it's basically an unlit candle, never been lit. It's made of beeswax. It has herbs, a silver like tarnished jewelry that's been polished, and a white feather. And they
You
do
hand them a
have
candle and a candlestick.
basically they all have meaning. Like his with the dried herbs, the candle, the white feather, the silver jewelry that's been polished. They all have meaning, and the stone that she handed Eula does have meaning too. It's basically how she views both of them in a good light, not a bad light.
It's very
Which I will
sweet.
have to look up later. I don't know
Yeah,
it now.
that's
Let's just
okay.
let's just hope that Vitale is not a virgin.
Oh,
Oh my
jeez.
god. Oh my god.
The Sandersons come out.
But she just hands it to him and she says, or hands the gifts to them and says, okay, I'm gonna go meditate before I have to leave, if that's okay.
Of course, child. The flame is always open.
Okay. And then with that, Olivia says goodnight and lets them have their teenage romance.
Yes.
That should not be as funny as it is.
Olivia's the official shipper of the group. She's, seeing all the pairings and going, ah, yes.
Yep.
Okay, class. Side boob all around.
And basically what Anna already posted, which is basically what I was exactly talking about. But I'm gonna post that there too because that was to Yulia.
In any case, we move on to Ashley, awakening up in her room at the chantry. I want to add a separate thing for her room because I know that we have an image for it, but we just don't have a room for it.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. You awaken in your green room. Tight, compact, safe from the dangers outside and the dangers inside the chantry. Anything past that door. How are you feeling after last night?
She's exhausted. And not in the physical sense. She's just... That was like the icing on the cake, and she's like, what worse can happen now? Probably a lot, but she's feeling it.
Well then. In any case, we do have some time, especially since you're not sure if you ever actually made plans to meet back up with the others.
Mm-hmm.
Though it's such a thing will probably happen on its own, if only because it seems all returning to habit after a long absence from it. And you probably need to see Olive tonight anyway to make sure she's alright.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what her sire did to her in punishment. Probably got her in so much trouble.
So much trouble.
So much trouble. Like having to put together a marshmallow pillow. And maybe bake a cake. But in any case, that is not here, that is not now. You are in the chantry. There is a letter slid under your door, probably a few hours ago, by one of the ghouls.
She'll open it.
It'll be a short and simple note, but largely it is from Dr. Thorne, requesting a meeting with you before you leave for whatever it is you intend to do tonight.
She'll set it on her desk and get her bag together because she is going out after the meeting. And
The
she'll go.
strip is a little bit more worn than it probably should be. Maybe you were gripping it a little too hard last night.
Fair. She'll just be extra cautious with that strap tonight and worry about it later. And then go find Dr. Thorne.
Shame Connor's mom isn't around to stitch it back up for you.
Yeah, she needs to learn how to sew.
You find Dr. Thorne, your sire, in his office not too long after you leave your room, however long it takes you to leave your room.
Probably took her like 5 minutes, but
Perhaps. Perhaps. In any case. Good to see you, child. Does this night find you well, or at least better than last night?
I'm feeling more composed today. Yeah.
Good. I'm working on extracting all of my old files, and I want you to know that by the end of tonight you will have what you want. AKA, not this session, but next session.
Fair. She'll nod and say thank you.
In the meantime, is there anything I can do for you? Beyond, well, getting myself in trouble with the sheriff after I see how many teeth I can break on that snobbish Lucio's face.
I think he'll have more than a few missing teeth after, you know. Anyway,
I'm
no,
sure he will.
I don't have anything I need help with tonight. I'm just gonna go out and do some wandering before I meet up with the coterie.
Are you sure? I'm normally all about you doing what you want to do, but considering what happened, I wouldn't feel precisely safe with you by yourself. Not to make you feel like a child. I realize you are an adult and everything, but
I won't be out for too long. I just need a little fresh air.
all right.
And I have
Well,
my phone on
send me
me.
a message when you reach the others so that I know you're safe.
I will keep you informed of my whereabouts every step of the way.
Excellent. And then I suppose I will let you go. Sorry for taking up your time.
No trouble. I'm your child. I am supposed to be here and listen to you, so
That doesn't mean I cannot care about your own desires.
little bird's gotta leave the nest eventually.
Not just yet, though.
No.
Go on and stretch your wings, though.
She'll nod, and if he's has nothing else, she'll head out the door.
Where does Ashley head if not the bagel, then?
She's
So, imagine if when we all get made into kindred, we gotta go through another 18 years of just being treated as children again.
Yeah, that's basically the normal venture experience, but I decided I didn't want you like stuck somewhere for 10 to 20 years, so I shortened it to 5.
Elvin was
Why do you
just
think venture don't let their kids out?
excelling.
Goodness.
Alvin was given a college course, not a full blown like baby to adult, transformation.
Of course not. You're a soldier. That gives you some sort of more maturity, or so your sire assumed.
Just Ashley's little baby bird comment just made me think, oh man, what if it was just kindred like tradition for every clan? Just like, okay, little baby kindred, you gotta go out and do these things.
Whereas, like, Clan Bruja is like the complete opposite. All right, kid, you got your fangs now. Let's see your feet.
Yeah, kick him
And
out the
knocks
damn
you
door.
out the door to go hunting. Gangrel will be kind of like that too.
Just kick him out the nest. Hope they fly.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. They'll figure it out
In some
later.
cases, they can.
Oh,
It only takes 4 dots of protein to turn into a bird.
So that we now know where the origin of Angry Bird will come from.
No, that's like gold birds, by like the dozens. In any case, now that you're out and about from the chantry, where in particular are you going?
She wasn't going anywhere particular. She was going back to her map of where she has been in the city and continuing her plan of tagging
Her
buildings.
obsessive stalky X behavior. Yes.
Yeah, she's gone back out and tagging buildings.
Yes, that thing you started to do somewhat recently.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is what you will be doing until you eventually arrive at the bagel, I assume. So if you
Yep.
don't mind, I suppose I will jump over to see how Pius is starting the night off.
Yep.
Gee, what is Pius starting the night off with? Goodness. I wonder what. And by that I mean I go back to the sewers here, and we go through Pius waking up. Pius! There's some sort of large squirming on top of you, like someone else that's awoken but doesn't want to move yet.
Pius will take his finger and start flicking Squeaker's butt cheek to wake him up.
Oh, it's, you find yourself flicking something far larger than Squeaker's butt cheek. Far larger than Squeaker's.
Bell?
Cut it out, bro. Goodness, I'm not into that.
Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. I thought you were my rat.
I'm pretty sure your rat doesn't have these. And she will, bounce the chesticles a little bit. She
No,
jumps up from you.
they don't have those.
Now, screw me, I guess, for, actually, no, don't. Bad words, bad word choice. But for, wanting to, make sure you were all right and see you off before you snuck out without saying anything again. She says as she jumps once more back down to where you're laying on the ground. On top of you. If
Oh,
you had to breathe, your air would be knocked out of you.
I was gonna say goodbye to all you guys before I made my way back to the coterie.
Sure you are.
Well, I can't leave without saying goodbye to you or Mom.
Well, now you can't, no.
Well, this is true.
And you realize you can't move your other arm or one of your legs.
You have quite the strength.
No, she's not holding on to you at all. All of her limbs are in plain view.
Oh. What is holding me down?
You see a an odd how do I put this? Well, your right arm and your left leg are tied to something on the wall in the form of a chain. The chain you could probably break pretty easily, as could anyone with potence and enough time. But definitely something that you wouldn't be able to break without setting off enough noise to alert other people that you were breaking it.
Bell? I seem to be chained.
Yeah. Mom was a little paranoid. Justifiably so, I might add. Goodness.
Mom did this?
Yeah, yeah, just so that when you would break out of it, she would hear and be able to come say goodbye before you disappeared forever.
1 second. Hmm. Hang on. Hang on. Ah, how can I get out of these without making a sound?
Too late, unfortunately.
Damn it.
It's all right, dear. You can let him out. I hear he's awake now. Goodness, you do sleep in a lot, don't you?
I do.
Well, and as Belle unlocks the things for you, and Lunya gives you a pat on the head, so you know you can get up.
Pies will get up and start
You can't
shaking
really
his
blame me. I'm
limbs.
just say. I mean, after everything, it's would be perfectly like you to just sneak out without saying something.
As I was telling Belle, I was planning on stopping by and say goodbye to you guys before I made my way to the coterie.
Excellent. Let's have a. Oh wait, it's not a snack, but yeah, we can work on it. We can work on it.
Oh, what'd you have in mind for a snack?
Well, that's not important. In any case, what is important is that you learn to say your farewells properly, and drop by at least 3 nights a week, preferably four actually, because this is your home, not that other place.
Or not? Well, three. We'll
Unless
make
you're
it
out with your
three.
friends. If you're out with like some sort of friend gathering, I can approve because you should have friends and should develop those friendships. You'll find that when you're
Okay.
older, only the friends you had and have developed along the way can really help you out or be relied upon. Outside of family, of course, because family always has your back.
Okay. And at the least, I can stop in on my way back to my haven.
Yes, at least just drop by a couple of times, even when you're not going to be staying the night. Goodness.
I can do that.
Otherwise, I might have to act considerably more desperate.
No, 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 no. We're fine. I'll stop in more.
Just a word to Donovan, I can ensure some very not enjoyable things happen until you learn your lesson. Because I care, darling. Because I care.
Yes, this is very. I can see that.
All right. I hope you're not troubling that upstanding, handsome young venture that's been given charge of you.
Alvin? No, God, no, God. He's no. He's a cool guy.
hmm And if I were to speak with him at some point later, and I wouldn't find out you've been causing problems for him, would I?
No, I'm not. Well, I'm playing pranks on him.
That didn't seem entirely certain there.
Well, I snuck into into the bagel and watched a movie with Lynette, but I didn't want anyone to know she was with me. And I kind of dismantled his computer, elbow his door. I
Okay,
pick
the
on him.
first one's understandable, child, but the second one, no, no, that's not right. You can't just go into someone else's place and start messing it up. Not when you want to be friends with them. Didn't anyone ever tell you how to make friends?
I was trying to repair something, and I didn't think, and I broke his computer to take parts.
Remember, you can only do that with your things, and she will poke you in the chest.
He looks down at his chest and goes, "Fine, my things, I promise."
If they're your things, you can break all the things you want.
Are we still in Pice's room?
You are in kinda. It's kind of more like it's not actually your room. It's actually the movie chamber y'all all gathered in the night before.
Okay.
Various rodents are watching from various positions. Squeakers is sitting on top of Belle's head at the moment. He clearly did not want to be in the fire zone of your mother.
No.
He's got a wife and kids to look after now, man. He can't be getting off like that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he has to stay in the safe zone.
Uh, if you do this again, I may have to resort to more drastic measures.
Nope, you made it
Don't
very
think for
clear.
one moment you're not too big. I mean, you're not. I mean, don't think for one moment you're too big for me to give a spanking. I can still give a spanking, man. Ask Belle. Belle looks very sheepish and wishes this conversation would turn to a different subject.
She spanked you, Belle?
I may have screwed up at one point. This is about you, not me.
All right, so we have some cementation in the truth of being spanked. Pius' eyes grow wide and he shakes his head up, and down. Well, nods his head.
Besides, it's not like you'll do any lasting harm. You'll regenerate from anything I do to you.
I'll need regeneration after your spanks?
What's the point of regeneration if not to use it to better discipline your children when they're misbehaving? Like,
Wow.
not letting you know that they're okay after getting back from a life or death mission.
Hey, I did okay. And
Okay,
Pius will puff
Whippin,
his
letting me know
chest,
you
check
were
his toe.
okay.
Yeah,
And
I should have known
Cassandra
that, and
will
I'm
grab you
sorry.
by the ear. Out that.
Ah.
Don't make me worry. Understood?
I promise.
All right, good. And she'll let your ear go, pat it a bit, and give you a kiss on the cheek.
And Pius will grab her and hug her.
And Belle will dive in to include that as your little trio of family kind of bonds for the first time in over a month. About damn time, too. Goodness. I see the chat's comment section has been going ham. Gee, what have you
Yes.
been writing here? Goodness.
Instead of an ear-to-ear smile, Pius actually has a genuine smile.
Oh my God.
And
Someone
actually,
was
for the
already
first
calling out
time,
spankings, apparently. Wow,
walking
okay.
to the bagel, like through the sewers, Pius actually starts ticking in his head, and it's been a long time since he has done that.
The tick of your pocket watch?
Yes, even though he doesn't have it, he still has the rhythm in his head.
Well, we will get to that in a moment. For now, we have to cover what's been going down at the bagel while we've been doing this and taking so long to wake up. It does sadly take you very long indeed to wake up properly.
Mm-hmm.
But we do return to the bagel overall. As things, and things indeed, continue. Let me X out some things here. In any case, back at the bagel, night has well and truly fallen by now. And finally, some among the crew are departing. Sarah and Joshua certainly have, though Jim is still behind the counter going over various records and managerial things. He's been learning to do this for weeks now, but this is one of the first times he's done it entirely by himself. An experience he will need going forward.
Indeed.
Unfortunately, he was never on any sort of quartermaster or logistics duty while in Vietnam. Just a guy with a rifle.
Which is
Just
alright.
has. Oh, go on. Sorry.
No, which is alright.
Jess has left the container with the last 4 cupcakes in it behind the counter, ostensibly for Alvin. The girl in question is happily giving her 110% even now, with no apparent recollection of whatever happened last night. Lucy is helping, and apparently riding a sugar high. From what you know, from what Jim told you, there were originally 3 dozen cupcakes, and there are only 4 left. Some were given out to cheerful customers. But he knows for a fact that Lucy has eaten at least 10 of them.
Bruce and Melina are gonna kill me for dropping their child back off with a sugar high. You know what? No. I cannot be at blame for this. This happened during mortal hours. I have no control.
No, wait, one moment. I got a phone call. Give me 5 minutes, folks. Consider this a bathroom break.
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking, you're muted.
I said, did your sister talk to Rick, or did she not talk to him?
Nope. She hasn't heard from him. Oh, my squeakiness. No, but no, she.
So no one's talked to Rick at all.
Nope.
I think someone should at least like attempt to talk to him.
My dad's been calling him.
Like go to the house, you know, like the house they should have gone to before Cal blew her head off.
I don't know where Rick lives. I don't know.
Because, you know, he could also be in trouble.
He also has a wife who's responsible for him.
All right, this is the pattern of your family.
Well, if he's not answering his phone, then there's not much we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not that close to Rick, so.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. That took a bit. Family stuff.
How dare you?
Yes, how dare I? How dare I? How dare you and Steph show up late after me, myself, and Nick, or I mean, and David were already here.
I was here. I just was, mobile.
Yeah, only three of us were in. Only three of us were in the call. That's all I'm saying. And then y'all finally joined at like 5:04 or 5:05 my time.
I was logged into Roll20 the entire time.
Uh huh. Uh huh. You,
I
you weren't
was.
where you weren't where I wanted you to be though. So
Oh.
you were still late. In any case, where were we? And that is not what that cat looks like.
That's fine. I just found Kitty.
Hmm.
I find Kitty. I see Kitty. I post Kitty.
Indeed, indeed. But where was I? I completely lost where I was.
Jim, managerial. Uh, Lucy,
Oh
lots
yes.
of sugar high.
Yep, yep. And you say you don't need to actually explain yourself to them. I mean, like it's not like you were
Nope,
awake or
nope.
anything.
That's
Fine.
during mortal hours. That's not my problem.
Indeed, indeed.
I can't control the child during mortal hours.
Hmm. And even so, with these one, two, three, four people still here and yourself, night has certainly fallen, and there is a
There's
knock at the
4.
door. Yes, there's Jim.
Yep.
There is
Jess,
Lucy. There's
Lucy.
Jess.
Thought that was it.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right because Kyle already left.
Yep.
Indeed.
Double checking.
Well, the three of them, with the two ghouls and the mortal, and of course yourself, the knock does come at the door.
I will check to
And of
see who
course,
it is.
glass is still see-through, so obviously, seeing through it is no issue whatsoever. On the other side is one
That
Mark Flowers.
that was quick. Uh, okay, yeah, he'll let Mark inside.
Ah, thank you. Not going
I'm gonna have to cancel my retainer's attempts to contact you.
Your retainer was supposed to contact me.
Just today, I literally just sent him out to task, but it seems that you had plans otherwise.
Oh, my apologies. I may have mistaken your words last night for an invitation.
No, it certainly was an invitation. It was more so I was a little surprised at the swiftness. That's all. Not a problem by any means. Feel free to come in.
Thank you. His eyes will roam over the others here, but they will absolutely linger the longest on Jess. Before he turns to you and will follow wherever it is you are directing.
I'm just letting him in. He can find a seat or, make himself comfortable.
He doesn't seem to particularly take a seat, at least not without you directing him to a specific seat.
Mm-mm.
Instead,
No,
kind of takes in the establishment, as I do believe it's his first time here.
it is. Out for a stroll this early.
I've always woken early.
Hmm. Ah, my apologies. Figured that work probably held you up for a good portion of the day. What brings you to my establishment just before closing?
Well, to make sure that she's doing well. He says just quietly enough that Jess the mortal probably can't hear him,
Mhm.
since she's only there
Alvin's
until
still realizing that Immortal's still in fact in presence, so pivots to make it a little less conspicuous.
Mhm. Others who I suppose get to know this sort of environment. Wife tells me you will be planning on opening it up for night business in the coming nights.
This would be true. I have to
Wife's
get through
oddly
the.
reliable about street level information.
Wife enjoys being entertained, and it seems that she's taking keen, glances at the recent recruits.
Never the child, that one. Though, best not to call her that to her face.
Young spirited, I think, would be the safer bet.
Probably.
But this is the establishment. There's not a whole lot to it. Humble coffee shop. Soon to hopefully be a place of enterprising journalists and those that seek a little bit of privacy in terms of their explorations into the digital era.
I'm well acquainted with the idea of journalists enjoying coffee, but what particular would a vaguely mortal entertainment themed establishment be to draw them in? He says, noting some of the comic book allusions I believe we long ago worked in because it's like a call out back to the Daily Bugle from
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man.
No, it's very simple. Open access to a commodity that has not yet been commercialized for the home. And we're on near enough basis with the college campus. I'm sure such a commodity will be much vied for.
What is this commodity? Some new spice, perhaps? I thought we were beyond that.
No, the world, for all things considered, or at least the as close of local area, interconnectivity one can get. Are you familiar with the communications that are being broadcasted electronically? Phones were but the first step. Computer and
Telegrams, telephones, faxes, I believe, are a thing.
mm, the internet is a budding enterprise, a connected web of information spread all across not just cities and states, but even the country en masse.
Sounds dangerous.
Sounds like a wild frontier ripe for exploring.
Have you ever been in a wild frontier?
I got dropped in a couple of locations where we were tasked to make camp for ourselves, sort things out, and
Did you have
make
to worry
sure
about random people coming in with guns drawn and blazing?
this place will, of course, be secure in terms of weaponry.
The
No,
point
no,
is,
this is
wild
more of
frontiers tend to be quite dangerous. In various,
information is dangerous.
of course, it is. Hmm.
That said, an endeavor that is still worth pursuit. America didn't make it to the moon without testing it themselves to the limit.
America!
Hmm. Of all the things, definitely a worthy addition, that one. I should make a note of that.
So, you've come to visit.
In the meanwhile, while this is going on, Lucy looks to be heading out. Apparently, she's being picked up for a non-dangerous night out.
Alvin
And
will wave her off.
Jess is getting ready to head home. Then is waving farewell.
Did you want a parting word, or
No, no, I think I will think on things a bit more further.
very well?
I
Alvin
have
will be sure
need to make
to.
sure that she is safe for the immediate future, or
Mhm.
at least her family is.
Alvin will make sure to kind of wave Jess off and make sure the door is closed after she leaves. Kind of watch to make sure she
And
makes it to her vehicle.
then it was just vampire, vampire, and ghoul.
But since she is now gone, they can speak a little more earnest. Word has it, Jess and her family have recently come to a fortunate set of circumstances, and I don't believe that those that were looking to exploit her before would be so generous of a donation. Might I guess that that
Yes, I
was your
doubt it.
hand?
Indeed. Of course. I can't very well be possessive of a family if I don't look after my family.
I understand, but let's just say that it would have been an interesting move of my adversary to attempt to buy the goodwill of mortals in the hopes of spiting me down the road.
Who is your adversary?
Considering that your family has been used against me at this current stage, I probably well enough to at least inform you of what they might stand against in this instance. Primogen Longwell has seen me as a bit of a competitive threat. His diminishing standing within my clan has made a mockery of his own position, to say the least. He used Jess as a means to send a message, a very poignant one, and one that I will make him regret in coming nights, but that is for the future.
Should I assume this matter is of a personal nature to you?
Well, I mean, considering the fact that your lineage was brought into this and Jess is a valued member of my community, yes, it's a bit of both. That said, I have now come to the debate on what exactly to do in order to continue Jess's safety in the manner of remaining with the bagel.
I think she will be fine going forward.
Well, should she continue to work here and have to deal with our world and some of the fallout that.
You will not be embracing her.
Oh, no. No, 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 no. My emergency thought process was, if it came to it, to bring her into the fold much in the same way that Jim here is, for protection's sake. Still able to live life in the same way that mortals do, but slightly different. I was not going to do so, however, considering the current revelation that stood before me. I felt that would be improper and rude.
Perhaps, perhaps. And while we are doing this, I will now determine which of the three arrives first. By order of random die. All hail the random die.
Oh boy.
Ashley. Ashley arrives first.
Woo!
A surprise, considering her tagging of locations sounded like it might take a long time.
No, she's been doing this for like the last month, so she's just working at sections at a time. So
Okay.
not that long, a couple hours.
Far enough.
Indeed, indeed. Oh, it looks like you have a guest.
Ashley's gonna
Looks
knock
at the
on the
window.
door. She's gonna knock on the door.
Alvin's gonna kind of like look at the door, look to Mark, look at the door, just kind of sidle his way over slowly, look, see who it is. I see. Open the door. Am I here for a
I'd like
lecture
to point
this
out that,
night?
like in the actual backdrop, these walls are glass and the door is glass. You can see who's on the other side without getting opening it.
Yeah, they are tinted a bit, but yes.
Mhm.
Am I due for another lecture?
Not for me. If you get a lecture, it's gonna be from your own sire.
I'd like to see him try again. Come on in.
She'll waddle in and just kind of like scuff her feet. Sorry about yesterday. I felt I needed to apologize. That was a lot.
Mhm.
And my sire should not have snapped at you. I apologize for that as well. He's a bit tense right now.
I see. Yeah, no, I can understand, being put under pressure and having things that you need to take care of. There's just constructive ways to do it.
Yeah.
Why
I've
would
been
your
up
father
front.
be upset with you?
That's more of a personal discussion, Mark. I do apologize.
Hmm.
That said, I've been upfront with you, and I do expect that, considering our relations, be it, personal or business, that you remain upfront with me, especially in the event that expectations fall on the coterie.
Well, now you know that is a little bit more serious than it was in the beginning when we had the little hunting. So,
Mhm.
well, a lot more. But yeah,
No more secrets?
no more secrets. To the best of my
Thank
ability, unless the chantry tells me no, or my sire. So, no more secrets unless they tell
So
me no.
no telling him about the planned diablerie, basically.
Yeah, because that could get
Understood.
more people killed if that goes south.
I understand clan boundaries, and I've not pressed Pies for his, but,
He's a
your
bit
price,
of
at least general stuff, still helpful.
Pius is a bit of a open book. He probably shouldn't say half the stuff he does.
It's true, but it is still helpful to know what's going on with each of you.
I will do my best. If something comes up that's really bad and you definitely need to know, I will probably break boundaries and tell you. Because
Okay. He gestures to a booth.
she's gonna go
That's
over
all I
there.
ask.
She's gonna say, okay. She's gonna go over there and start doodling in her book.
Would you like a coffee?
Yes, please.
All right. How about you, Mark?
I will take one, yes. It's been a while since I've enjoyed coffee.
He'll get to working on that. Considering that Ashley has arrived, he is not relocking the door to the bagel under the thought
Others will
that,
probably arrive soon.
you're right.
And on that note, Ashley's going to get up and go wash her hands because she realized she has paint all over them.
You find the tray of 4 delicious-looking homemade cupcakes sitting out behind the counter.
Alvin will be sure to, dole out a, cupcake and, a coffee to, Ashley and, Mark.
But does he take a cupcake?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, let me see. Let me just whisper Olivia and make a note for Mark. In any case, the 3 of you sit, 2 with coffees, 2 with cupcakes.
Mm-hmm.
Alvin, I will be honest on one front before we get too far into this. I have been tagging the city
Why?
because I'm searching for somebody. You already knew this.
Oh, right, your ex-boyfriend.
But I'm tagging the city, so if you see tagging, it's nothing weird. It's not the Sabat back. It's just me.
You're looking for your lover? Or former lover?
Yes. It's complicated.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of curious things going on.
A lot
Good
of
would
curious.
seem.
So, Mark, in terms of your connection to our little party here, concerning your lineage, if it were to ensure her safety within the rest of our society, do I have your permission? Or would you like it to be you that does it? I would hate to
On one hand, I
fire
would
her
prefer it
outright.
on one hand, I would prefer it to be me, but on the other hand, I would rather not do that to her. It's a complicated position to be in mentally.
It certainly is, but at the same time, you know the rules of our society. No breaking masquerade. And if she is caught out, without anyone to speak for her, because something else goes down, she will be in danger. I could fire her and be washed of all of this, but I don't feel that's the call here.
I'd rather you didn't. She seems to enjoy working here.
Agreed. I would hate to lose her. She's an excellent help here, and a bright personality. But I am simply setting the foundation of what our understanding is going forward. This can happen again. I'd prefer it not, but it can.
Of all the things I regretted not learning, no matter.
I handled her memory of the instance, so she's in no danger of necessarily having that brought to terms unless someone decides to really start messing with things. And if that's the case, well, now somebody's intentionally trying to breach masquerade.
I think I shall give you a month.
A month? Explain.
Deal with this primage in Longwell.
I see. What are your stipulations with this month?
Mainly that if he doesn't come to, shall we say, learn the fallout of his actions, folly of his ways, and have his nose perhaps rubbed in them, that I might have to take some personal action on that matter. And I'd rather not to. There would be those unhappy with me if I did.
Well, for now, it was just this one breach. So, I'm already taking steps to hopefully make sure that my crew here at the Bagel is well in hand, and my crew elsewhere is well in hand. That's not to say that Kindred Society doesn't have its sneakier and more diabolical elements. Simply want you to be
indeed.
aware of the way that the board is set.
And the more that I learn about this primage in Longwell fellow, the more I consider him more a child than anything else, playing in an adult's shoes.
It seems to be that way.
At this point, Olivia, you finally made it.
Olivia's a superstar now? No, I'm
Yes.
kidding.
Perhaps, but more importantly, you're here at the Bagel.
And the door's unlocked.
Oh, so I don't smash my face in it like a dog.
Well, I mean, it's not a push, so, I mean, you might smash your face in it.
You just see her face squish into the glass. Just like, and she backs. You just hear a soft "ow," and then the door open.
Good evening, Olivia.
Yeah, good evening to you too. And she kind of like sees Ashley and Mark, and she gets super excited because it's like two of her favorite people, and then like she's like doesn't know what to do, and she kind of like stalls, and then she like looks at Ashley. She's like, "Can I hug you?"
Ashley will just nod her head. Yes.
She fucking glomps you.
The tackle glomp commences.
And she's like, "I'm so glad you're here. I'm so sorry. I wish I could have done more."
It's okay. If things would have been any different last night, I wouldn't be here tonight. So it's best it went the way it did. And that
Olivia.
thorn wasn't there.
Olivia, would you like a coffee?
And a cupcake?
What type of cupcake?
This kind, and she'll just lift it up.
She takes a bite of your
Strawberry
cupcake.
cupcake. is a strawberry cupcake. And a
Yes.
from scratch strawberry cupcake, not a box strawberry cupcake.
Yeah, Olivia gets excited and bites your cupcake.
Ashley wouldn't care.
And then
Alvin.
and
Alvin
then
will bring over a coffee and a cupcake for you.
she'll then like turn to Mark and give him like a glomping hug and then release him and just be like, "It's nice to see you here too. Wait, why are you here?"
Oh,
Andrew
turn to
died.
Mark. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I was
that was to Mark. Sorry.
Oh, I was taking Alvin up on a invitation.
Okay. I won't pry. But okay.
To catch you up
Interesting.
to speed, Mark here is, well, our very own Jess is descendant of Mark's family.
Oh.
He wanted to check the place out and, make sure that things were well.
No, that makes sense. Is that what was happening at court? Like,
No, I've been making sure he knows the state of the board, considering,
no. I mean, I don't mean right now. I mean when Jess came in and you both ran out. I know Ashley already explained the dominate thing to me.
And right about now, while you're in the middle of this conversation, Pius, you arrive. How do you arrive?
Muted.
Muted.
Where am I appearing from?
Wherever.
That's a good question.
You're
Okay.
arriving presumably by way of sewer, but do you try and knock on the sewer entrance down in the basement, or do you try and sneak in up above using obfuscate, or...
Yeah, Pies will sneak in with obfuscate.
Okay, time to make a
Since he
GM
feels
roll.
like
One moment.
his normal self, he'll try
I'm
and
gonna go ahead and
obfuscate
make a
through the
GM
door.
roll here. Here we go. Difficulty. There we go. Would Olivia like to try and detect Pius's obfuscate, since she's the only one with aspects high enough to try?
Sure, she can do that.
Indeed. Let me go ahead and go over seeing the unseen. You have aspects dots higher than his obfuscate dots, I believe. What's Pius's obfuscate dots?
1 moment.
You've had 1 moment. Now tell me.
3.
Oh, goodness.
Oh yeah, she definitely outranked you. It's not even a contested roll; it's just a roll on her end. Perception awareness difficulty 7 minus the number of dots by which you exceed his obfuscate. So you exceed it by 2. So difficulty 5. Perception awareness.
Well,
You immediately see the Nosferatu attempting to sneak in, especially when he opens that door. Mark also appears to immediately spot him, even before he opens that door.
Olivia's glomping him.
Alvin, Ashley, you see Olivia get up from the table and start running towards the door, though nothing appears to be there, and then immediately tackle Glomp the air. Which presumably breaks the obfuscate.
Hello, Olivia.
Yeah. Hello, Pius.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good, actually.
Good. She'll release Pius so that he can come in. And then go back to the table and eat and drink her coffee.
I have to say, your glomp's getting pretty strong. You almost have Belle beat.
I don't think I could ever beat Belle. She's
No, she doesn't. But it's nice of you to say that.
yeah, like it's super nice. But
She needs at least a few dots of potence before she can do that.
yeah. Pius is very sweet.
Yeah, it was just trying to be nice.
Yeah, Olivia appreciates it, but she knows. She knows she's a weak sauce.
I need to remind myself to keep some IVs on hand. I know that you're not necessarily one to be able to enjoy the mortal libations and food anymore, Pius.
You need to get
shame
Lyra's
that.
recipes.
It'll
Just
say
set a cup on the table
Pius.
and I can pretend I'm drinking coffee.
Of course. Alvin will still prep something for you. But he feels a little bad because, like, while he's able to, get something for everyone where they can enjoy it to a certain degree, it's still like,
Actually, you know what? Make him a cup of coffee anyway, and he will let Squeakers and Comstock indulge in the coffee.
You're going to give your rodents a caffeinated high.
You're damn right I am.
Olive just
Yeah.
needs
I
to bring
love
in
this.
Lyra's lollipops
Has anyone here seen the movie
Oh
Hoodwinked?
fuck yeah!
and her ice
I
cream.
heard.
Has
Yeah.
anyone here seen the movie Hoodwinked?
yes.
Yes.
It's yes.
Yeah. You are doing to your rodent and your bat what that guy did to the squirrel in the movie, or was it the
Yeah.
rabbit?
It was a
Or
squirrel.
Squirrel. It's a squirrel.
Well, yeah.
What have I done?
You know. Well, here's
Here's all the nuts.
here's what makes it worse. There, Andrew. They're not only getting the coffee, they're also getting the cupcake.
Oh God.
Oh.
Well,
Oh.
I can't believe I thought of Hoodwinked. It's been ages since I've seen that. Good movie.
it's a
though.
great movie. But yeah, no. Even though he knows Pius can't fully enjoy it, he'll explain that Jess made cupcakes, and he'd like for each of you to basically get one.
Oh, that's so sweet. I didn't know Jess made them.
Mm-hmm.
Can I write her a thank you note?
Of course.
Awesome. Do you have
Of
newspaper?
course, huh?
Of course. What kind of place do you think this is?
What kind of venture would he be without paper?
I know, right?
It's not even a venture thing. I just plan on getting this place to be a journalistic haven. So paper, pen,
if
I got
Elvin,
you.
Crumb of the
if Elvin hands that to Olivia, she immediately just starts writing all this like, "You were so awesome. Thank you for the cupcakes. I was not. This is just like it's just a whole ramble of thank yous."
Probably a
What is
doodle of the
Pius saying
cupcake
there?
and everything.
Yeah.
What was Pius saying there?
I'm gonna just write it.
Okay.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
You sure? You
Yep.
sure? You sure?
Okay.
Because I did want to hear it. I heard crumble of cupcake, and I was like, okay, is he gonna? Is he mama birding his rodents?
Oh.
Oh no.
I'd like to point out that whatever your rodents eat, Squeakers is saving half that he's not eating, but he's keeping protected from Comstock's hungry grasp.
Already had you covered.
He takes half the cupcake and puts it into
Aw.
a napkin and sends Squeakers. Aww,
That's so cute.
that is adorable.
I love that.
Gotta
Time
take.
for the niblets to get a sugar rush too.
Yep. Gotta take care of the
They're gonna care about
grandbabies.
the nibbles.
Exactly.
Nibbles is gonna be upset with you.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though. Is like they're the parents. Pius is practically the grandparent, and that's the job of the grandparent. Is to get the kids on the sugar high and leave
Use their
that
retirement fund to spoil their grandkids, especially with sugar, and then dump them off at their parents' house right before they become intolerable.
Pius is fitting right in.
Oh shit! I didn't mean. Whatever.
Close enough.
Olivia's gonna tap Mark for a second. Oop, there you go. I have a question. If the next time we're able to meet up to do more studying, can you explain the Book of Nod to me? And there's a couple other things that are on my mind.
That's a very particular question,
Pius's eyebrows would raise to that.
especially if I feel I need to ask which version.
Oh god, I don't know. I guess
The Sabbath have
original?
long since twisted their own version into being, in some sense. I will consider it, but I make no promises on this.
Okay.
Besides,
I'm
I
just-
believe you wanted to learn about the Caitiff and the Thin Bloods.
I do. I still do. I just new information tonight. My brain's buzzing. That's all.
What's prompting these inquiries, Olivia?
Basically, being in the catacombs, I've been talking to Father Vitale, and
Okay.
Father Fatale is an interesting man, especially for a La Sombra.
oh
He is
yeah,
a very solemn and rather calming individual to chat with, to say the least. We were able to have a couple discussions with him in our prior excursions, helping the efforts the prince had set us upon.
I still have the rosaries that he gave me.
Rosary, he gave you one.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to say rosaries. I meant to say rose. I just stole a bunch of them. That's all.
Well,
No.
You little goblin.
yeah, that said.
Olivia being the crossbreed of a goblin and a raccoon over there.
I know, right?
Was
One
there any
goblin,
other?
one rat panda.
Is there anything else you wish to speak about tonight, Mark?
Not particularly. I believe I will go ahead and take my leave if that is alright.
What's the rest of the party? Do you all have
Oh.
questions for Mr. Flowers?
I have plenty, but that can
Like,
wait.
how can he keep a straight face when people keep calling him Mr. Flowers?
Shit, wait, do I have to call him Mr. Flowers too? Wait, am I supposed to be calling you Mr. Flowers? Oh,
Marcus is fine if you wish. Mark. as
Mark?
well.
Marcus? That's pretty cool. I like that name. But if he's gonna take his leave, she's gonna give him a quick hug and let him go.
In that case, I suppose I will see you when I see you. As I believe is said these nights. Strange things. With that, the Bruja will take his leave.
As he leaves, Alvin will just look to the rest of the party and go, just so long as you never call him Marky Mark, I think he'll be fine.
Ooh,
Don't
call him that of that.
Don't give her ideas.
Elias tries everything he can to not say that.
You haven't broken his mask so far. Good luck.
Because that was pre like late 90s, so that is still Mark Wahlberg's active persona at the moment.
Oh, fuck. I forgot I had a gift for Mark, too. Oh well, that can wait till next time.
Yes, it will have to wait. Shame on you. How dare you forget such a thing?
Alvin will kind of look to the rest of the party and yeah, go.
And then there were 4.
Now that he's taken care of, are you all okay tonight?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Ooh, does the coterie wish to begin planning for a Halloween event, maybe?
He hasn't brought that up yet, but
Ah.
Alvin's mostly gauging how everyone's feeling right now.
It would be in poor taste to do this if Ashley was still looking like she fell apart into pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Alvin,
Sup, Bias?
what did you have to do to get a gym?
I'm sorry. Oh, to get Jim. Okay, yeah, right.
But-
It's no different than the process by which he points to your rodents. You, set up your little friends.
Did you have to ask your sire?
No?
Oh.
What you have to understand when it comes to ghouls is bringing a mortal on comes with risks. It's very different than rodents. Rodents are much less likely to break masquerade. If a ghoul is not watched and tended to in their initial days, and their full conversion over to falling into your service, then that can cause problems. They might talk about the monsters that they've seen in the night. They might start to get other mortals up in arms. Until the third drink, they are a liability by the rest of Kindred Society standards.
Okay.
Each drink, of course, will drain you of your own vitae as you progress them through the stages. But the blood bond is no different than kindred to kindred.
All right. So that's a very situational thing.
If you decide to bring on a ghoul, you best make sure you've got a good purpose for it and that you're in contact with them frequently. For if you lapse in terms of making sure that they are maintained, well, they'll no longer follow your persuasive voice.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking of more or less having a fence. But yeah, no. Your words kind of help me steer away from that.
It could be useful if you found a mortal that you have some trust within and can make sure that they're not going to talk, then great. In Jim's case, it was a last-ditch effort. Either he understood that the monsters that weren't us were probably going to see to his end, or I give him the way that he can continue on with life, even if it's a little different.
Right.
Each ghoul takes to the process differently, because at the end of the day, they are still mortals. They are still human. They still have lives, ambitions, and goals, even if they're become a little muted from your influence.
Mm.
That said,
Good information.
I'm in consideration of getting a couple extra myself at this current stage, as Longwell's recent activities have pointed to needing far more secure
ground.
individuals.
Oh, I like boots on the ground.
Yes, more boots on the ground indeed. Eyes that I can trust and that'll report back to me what is really going on. That said,
Perhaps some with skills that you don't currently have access to amongst your allotment of retainers.
that too. That said, tonight is Devil's Night, so I don't expect that, anything's necessarily going to go too crazy with, the Kindred world. Tomorrow is Hallows Eve, which I understand is a
Certainly not
favorite
like that
amongst the
bloody sunrise being drawn on your wall over there. That looks exactly like the butcher's mark,
right?
which only Olivia sees, and then it vanishes.
Then tomorrow is Hallows Eve, which, if I'm to understand, is a favored evening of the Nosferatu in particular.
Yes, I can go up there and not be scary. I can be normal.
You be
Yes.
scary, they'll just and ugly. They'll just think it's a really awesome costume, man.
I don't know if your clan and family have necessarily warned you, but yes, you could roam about up top, but still be careful in terms of your interactions with mortals. If they get a little too close of a glance at you, the facade might kind of break.
The real question is, which one of you can help me get in contact with Toby?
Ashley's gonna look over Tobias.
Toby,
Tobias.
we're gonna egg some houses.
No, you are not. He
Why
is
not?
old enough to
Dear
be your
God,
grandfather.
can you imagine explaining to the regent what happened?
I am not
Toby and I are
going
gonna
to
experience Devil's Night.
No. Tobias is old enough to be your grandfather. That is not happening.
Grandpa Toby's gonna egg some houses.
Absolutely not. I am not going to Regent Steel and telling him why Tobias got in trouble because of you.
It's Papa Toby now. and we're gonna egg some houses.
He is not my papa.
Now, to be fair, Ashley, to be entirely fair, now these 2 nights are probably the best 2 nights for a child vampire to actually be able to walk around and not be glanced at. Same reason the Nosferatus get to enjoy the evening. Tobias would fit right in with the recent events, the holiday stuff going on, kids wandering out past dark. He's with adults as he gestures to both you and Pius. So it wouldn't look weird at all.
No, I'm sure it wouldn't. It's just gonna make things really weird tomorrow night. I mean, not tomorrow night, but next session.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose tomorrow in game.
So,
Especially if that side storyline comes up.
and as you can see,
Either that, or I help Lynette run amok on the streets, and we don't want that one.
I mean, you don't know. You don't know what you guys planned. Goodness.
in character, Alvin will kind of gesture to the rest of the bagel. The bagel is currently in the transition of getting fully decorated for the season. So if you all have any suggestions or desires for some sort of event to kind of brighten your spirits before we get into some of the more nuanced problems we have as a coterie, then by all means.
Pius wouldn't know how. The fact that you just said decorating for a season, he's shutting down right now.
Well,
He's trying so hard not to be a kid that he's just like, all right, shut down. Don't let them see the side of you.
I guess we need to get Pius a pumpkin.
A pumpkin.
Suffice it to say, it is still the season, and there is still time to celebrate before the storm comes. I've got a lot of work I'll be needing to tend to in following weeks, and if you are all interested, some comeuppance to a particularly snobbish Primogen. And Ashley, if you need assistance with your little feud or your search for your forgotten love, then perhaps we can also wrap that into the things we're doing. He looks over to Pius and Olivia. I don't know if you two have projects or ambitions that you seek, but pretty soon here, I probably will not be staying at the bagel like I do in evenings once things are set up.
Are you going to the light?
I'll be
to the
going
light.
to
No.
a secret base of sorts, but I need to
Oh.
prepare.
Oh, okay. You're just getting a special safe space for yourself. Gotcha.
He's gonna have
Suffice
a home.
Suffice it to say, I will have a command station of sorts.
Will we be able to know where this home is so we can egg it next Halloween?
No.
Can we egg
Not-
Longwell's house?
By all means, I
Better
think
than
it'd be
burning
hilarious.
it down, like the earlier suggestion.
Burn his house down, raise it to the ground. I just see Elmo.
I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page. As a coterie, we have tied reputations. Each of us are known to hang out with each other, and I'm reiterating that the things you do will fall back on the rest of us. I'm not here to hold secrets against you, and I know that there are clan secrets that must be kept in place, and I'm not going to pry. But you have our support, and if you want help with these things, we all need to know what's going on. I appreciate your apology, Ashley. And again, if you want support, we can give it.
I will take any support I can get, but the family feud thing is kind of in my sire's court, and I don't have much say in that one. He was real close to busting his teeth out.
Well, As far as it comes concern of your sire, for one as aged as he and as well informed as he should be, making assumptions is kind of, and I mean this with the utmost of respect, juvenile. I understand that sires tend to want to protect their childs, and in moments of distress, they're like to bare fangs, but we're here to be your friends and your, confidants to a certain degree. And your sire bearing fangs against us, even if they are just ill-suited words. Not something I want to make a habit of.
Fair. The only thing I can recommend is what I said last night. Keep Rocco close.
I plan to.
He's gonna need it. And she'll kind of like look down at the table, just like avoid that.
For now. Holiday and decorative ideas. You each can also, pick out your own buckets or the like. Consider it my gift to each of you, as thanks for your companionship.
Can we get Jess to make the cupcakes? Because those are fucking rad.
I could put in a
That'll
request.
Be a matter for next time. I hate to interrupt this, but I've
Mm-hmm.
let y'all go on for like 20 minutes.
Oh shit, I didn't
Most
realize
of
it was
the
past. Wow.
Table setting. My apologies, Andrew.
Yeah, sorry. We can jump right back into that at the start of next session.
Of course. Nope. Just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page.
Didn't really see an easy endpoint before now, so I just grabbed it the moment I saw it.
Yeah. No. Great place for it.
Actually, I had a couple more scenes prepped, but you know what? We're good. Turns out it wasn't a short session like I thought it would be.
Nope, not at all.
I think we found our
cleanup and some RP.
Mhm.
And some spankings promised, apparently, by at least one of the people. But not the one everyone was expecting to do spankings tonight, so, you know.
Almost
for
no
the-
spankings.
I mean, honestly, I was definitely expecting Cassandra to be that kind of parent. I just didn't know if it warranted it yet. I was hoping for Lyra to, like, be a little more disciplinary, but with the explanation, I'm like, okay, fine, this makes sense.
She's a big old marshmallow, I'm sorry. She doesn't have it in her. And how did she survive Kindred Society? Well, you see, she was something of the mascot position in her coterie.
I hope she
Love
has,
cute,
like,
adorable one that everyone enjoys.
Has Andrew
but,
seen the Pius and Olivia shenanigan photos that I did?
I don't think so.
Yeah, if you did, I might have considered it extra credit. What was it?
Oh man, hang on. Let me send you a few.
If it turns out to be something extra credit, I'm going to digitally smack
So
you.
this is Pius and Olivia. Olivia trying to teach Pius how to ride a motorcycle.
Why is her hair up in like goat horns?
I don't know. This is Olivia and Pius just like fucking around at a carnival.
Wait, where's this stuff?
He's sending
Oh,
it
hang on.
correctly.
I'll post it in the other ones. All right. So here's how do I do it in the normal thing?
So what I'm hearing is that I will go ahead and give you an extra credit, but unfortunately you didn't turn it in before session. It'll only count as the one from this session, but
It'll be in the Xenos general messages.
Oh,
Yep.
So there's
Ah,
Pius and
yeah.
Olivia on a bike. Hang on, there's more. This is Pius and Olivia at a carnival.
Oh, you put that in Giant
I go
Slayer.
that one. God damn it.
Dummy.
I'm not trying to.
I know.
No.
How do you switch channels that you're posting in mid posting?
He's forwarding.
He's forwarding. Yeah. Gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
delete that one from there.
Yep.
Nope.
Here, I'll post that one in just like I'll post it in our like group chat for like the three of us.
You're posting it everywhere, man. It's just
Mhm.
make
That's alright.
Well, I assume it's not for me then. In any case,
Oh,
Leon, experience. Experience, one for everyone, +1 for role playing. Learning. This might be a tough one tonight. Pius, what did Pius learn tonight?
that he really needs to start visiting home more. And he learned kind of the benefits of not focusing too much on like his necromancy and shit, like kind of focusing more on like the fundamentals of being like a family still, because that is kind of what's keeping him human. Like in a sense, he's not really a human, but you know what I mean. Keeping him grounded.
I suppose all that.
I didn't really get much of a chance to do shit, so there's really not much for him to learn.
Yeah, fair enough. But like I said, it's
I
gonna
had
be
like
tough
maybe
to
like
this
15
week.
minutes of this whole game.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Yeah, there was like really nothing for me to learn.
I'm sorry, man.
It's alright.
Maybe I should have mandated who came in what order instead of relying on the dice. But once I started relying on the dice, I had to keep relying on the dice because otherwise I would have displeased the dice.
Oh, I'm used to it. That's kind of what Pius is. He's just kind of that foreground.
I can't wait until we get into heist mode because, man, am I gonna need your assistance so bad.
I don't want Pius to be in the foreground. That's not okay.
You don't
He's
want
part
him
of the
being
story.
up front? You don't want him being up front?
No,
I mean
I don't.
the background. I didn't mean
No.
the foreground. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I fucking just used your words, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
meant
don't
the
want.
background.
I don't want you to be in
Okay,
the
okay.
background.
Ashley, what did Ashley learn?
Sorry, I'm drawing at the same time, so I'm like not paying attention.
Ashley learned a bit more that her sire has a bit more of a protective side than she has believed in the past, with his clinical side she's more used to.
I suppose. Alvin, what did Alvin
we go.
learn tonight?
That looks weird.
I'm with Pius. There's not like a whole lot to necessarily been learned. I could kind of like vouch for the idea that he's kind of noting Olivia's more inquisitive side growing and making mental notes to need to bring her some other topics of interest and study. But I don't feel like that's something that he's necessarily learned. It's kind of almost to be expected. Like she's new. Now she's just kind of branching into that exploratory kind of side of things. It's not as revealing as like the institutionalized Olivia from before that he still has to poke at.
Well,
This night really wasn't a night of like learning.
Yeah.
I'll be generous and allow this by book 2 standards instead of book 3 standards. Goodness. Olivia, what did Olivia learn tonight?
Olivia learned way too much. She learned there's a book of Nod about the rare cat, Golconda, to an extent. Like she's getting more.
Right, we'll just go ahead
Yeah.
and get you off there and say you get it.
Yeah.
Even by book 3 standards. You know what, Chase? That brings us around to MVP. Olivia, who's Olivia's MVP?
Before we get
Pius.
to that,
Oh, come on, Nick.
sorry. I will point out for Pius, you did kind of learn the extents that your mother's willing to go in terms of keeping you in the loop of the Nosferatu clan.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That is something we did not know that Pius would definitely have learned. You got chained to a wall.
Yes, I did. I really wanted to roll and see if I could get out of those damn chains, just to see if Pius could, but it's all right.
Already. In any case. Yeah, but you've only got 2 strength.
But I have like crafting and I have like a lot of other stuff I could have tried to use.
What have been using, I suppose.
And the dude was a criminal. I'm pretty sure he could pick a lock and get out of a chain.
Hey, we can know you can try and pick a lock, but can you do that with only one arm while your sister is sitting on top of that one arm?
Of course. I can try.
It's doable.
I mean,
And
can still
anything.
do a backwards twist off of a glass thingy? Maybe not, but he can try.
Olivia, MVP.
Pious because his mom wanted to spank him. The
Pious
whole
for
scene.
spankings.
Yeah.
Alvin, who's your MVP?
I'm drawn between two. Because I really do like the pious scenes tonight, because they were very enlightening in terms of the family dynamics, and just also very wholesome. At that same time, I'm like, Ashley actually standing on business and apologizing and just kind of bringing things forward as a, move forward for her character. I'm a little stuck between the two. I loved Olivia's stuff with her, like, learning and everything. I don't know. I might have to abstain tonight. I like them all
Might
a
have
bit
to
too
wait.
much.
You need to pick one. Roll a die if you have to, but you need to pick one.
Everyone was kind of in top form for their role-playing tonight.
Stop
I
with
guess
group plays and pick someone.
everybody gets EXP tonight.
Not this time.
No.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to roll a die, because I really liked everybody's stuff today. I liked the wholesomeness of the Nosferatu. I really appreciated the apology from Ashley. But I'm also, like, I'm on this Olivia, like, learning train a little too keenly, because I just find it interesting. Her character can, like, do that and, like, it feel natural, and, like, while I normally am the knowledge junkie in games, Alvin kind of has to work off of, like, at least some predisposed information.
This is true.
So, I don't get to play the idiot. I don't get to play the uninformed. I don't get to play the, like... There's so many ways to be inquisitive, like, like...
Okay, so
Yeah,
are
Alvin
you
didn't
giving
get
it
to
to
see, like,
Olivia,
the
or are you
family
giving it
thing,
to
though.
Spanking Pious, or are you giving it to Ashley for the apology?
Because Olivia gets to be the newborn and gets to be the, like, curious cat that gets to explore everything and walk across the road.
I'm not hearing you actually give a solid answer.
And no, my description and stuff were not, like, towards Olivia. They were just, like, archetypes that I've played in other characters. Just as a heads up. I love Olivia's inquisitiveness and, like, sense of, like, common sense.
You would never open up a demon book that wants to try and corrupt her.
Shut up.
Mm.
You can't hold that against me. You're the one that gave that to me.
I didn't know what it was. My character didn't know what it was. He just knew it was a talking book and figured you'd be thrilled. He doesn't have the knowledge checks for that.
Best friend gave friend a new best, a new friend. Why am I supposed to, like, wisdom-wise pay attention to that? Smart as a wit. No common sense.
Roll your die or make your choice.
Seems Ashley is getting it.
All right, that's one for Pius and one for Ashley. Ashley, who's your MVP?
It's kind of in the same boat. I don't know.
Oh, Lord.
It's
Roll the die.
Yep, roll the die.
I forgot how to do it on this one. How do you roll a die on
Slash R space 1d3.
slash
R space 1d3.
It was on that.
1D.
Holy shit.
a 1? So that would be Olivia for all
Giving
her
it to
damn
Pius.
questions.
Why are you giving it to Pius?
Well, oh, okay, Pious then. For being a
I
grandpa.
mean, I left to right. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want it to be out Olivia, go for Olivia. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't matter. Either one. Pious for being Grandpa Pious, or Olivia for being just
Olivia
questionable.
for the walls.
Pius.
Oh, Olivia for the walls, so that way it's down to Pius to pick who wins this session.
There we go. We'll go with Olivia, now Pious has to pick.
There we go. And mine would be
Well,
Olivia.
let's see. I believe Ashley has 1, Olivia has 1, Pius has 1, Alvin has 0. Pius, it's your turn to pick.
I Olivia, because I liked her scene with the holy people, and then their explanation on why they stay religious and stuff.
Oh,
I thought it was
that will
very
mean
interesting
I'll be able to take it.
that the unholy can try and be holy. To me, that was funny.
Indeed. Well, then that'll be 3 XP for Pius, Ashley, and Alvin, and 4 for Olivia, and Pius will get +1 for extra credit. In that case, though, I believe that brings us to a close, and I hope everyone had fun.
Mhm.
Even if it was apparently
Yes,
a
it
bit
was enjoyable.
lopsided.
You can speak
I'm
into
sure
the
we'll
mic
get
if
those
you want.
spankings for Pius next night when he forgets something.
You don't want to say goodnight to everyone? You just want to be silent? That's okay. I like you silent. It makes my life easier.
Oh dear.
I'm just kidding. Don't be dramatic. That's my deal. Okay, he's gonna play with the cat. That's fine.
I hope I didn't put
Alright.
everyone to sleep. Sorry we ran
No.
long there.
Nope, you're good.
Hope everyone
okay.
had fun, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and hop off.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, all.
night.
Bye. I mean, David, go rest your neck or back or whatever it is.
No,
Legs.
yeah.